each other and throwing punches.
You get a call the next day that she's filing trespass charges against the two of you.
Yes.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy. Tamara Colvin is suing her former roommates, Elias Guerrero and Crystal Freeman, for attorney fees resulting from a restraining order, destruction of property, and the return of rent.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. Yeah, it's case number 504 in the calendar in the matter of Coleman versus Guerrero Freeman.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
This is some sort of a landlord-tenant dispute. I have a claim and a counterclaim, but before I get into the claim that you have for some rent back, for attorney's fees because you claimed that they filed a false charge against you, resulting in a restraining order that you had to defend. Mr. Guerrero and Ms. Freeman, you have a counterclaim for some sort of harassment and damage that her cat did to carpeting. How old are you, Ms. Colvin?
27.
How do you...
I work for the Egg and I work for the Dusty Boot now.
I hardly followed that. What kind of work do you do?
I wait tables. I'm a server.
In 2 restaurants?
Mm-hmm.
How much do you earn a week?
$400 or $500, depending.
You paid in check or cash?
Cash.
Do you live alone now?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is this?
This is my mother.
What do you do with the cash when you get it?
Usually I deposit it into my bank unless I'll save up the whole rent before I deposit it into my bank.
How often do you make a deposit?
Once a week.
Okay. Now, you knew them from work?
Mm-hmm.
One of them or both?
One of them.
Who?
Elias.
That would be you.
Mm-hmm.
You moved in and rented a room or part of a house?
Half of the house.
What was the rent?
$650 for my half.
In what month and year did you move in?
2010, and I moved in October.
October what?
5th.
And how much money did you give them?
I gave them a total of $1,300.
What was that for?
First and last month rent.
So far correct?
No.
How much did she give you?
She gave me $650 for the rent and $650 for a deposit.
You mean security?
Security, yes.
Did you have a written lease?
No, that was actually part of the conditions.
When did you move out?
I was forced out by the police on November 16th.
Did you pay rent in November?
I did. I paid another $650.
Did she pay rent in November?
Yes.
$650.
Mm-hmm.
When she moved out, and we'll find out why in a moment, did you return her security?
No.
Why not?
Because there was unpaid utilities and also unpaid, the damages to the carpet that she had left wasn't paid for or fixed.
How much did she owe in utilities?
$300.
And you can prove that to me?
Yes.
You supposed to split the utilities with them?
Yes.
Did you pay utilities for October?
I didn't because I wasn't supposed to pay their deposit.
Just a second. I'm just asking you if you paid utilities in October. All right, so let's deal with this very simply, at least at first.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're going to get to any rent and why you moved out in the middle of the month. Because if she moved out in the middle of the month, depending upon the circumstances, you may be entitled to November's rent back. Show me the sum total of the utility bills for the month of October. And don't bother me with November. Just tell me what they were.
$588.73.
580 divided by 2, $290. Now, show me what the carpet looked like before she moved in.
We don't have pictures of before. We only have pictures of after.
Picture, if you want to keep their security deposit. Now, let's figure out if they also owe you for November's rent, which he acknowledges that you paid, and you say you were forced out. Let's go.
Okay, I went to the police. They had taken my stuff. I had put locks on my doors, and I had retrieved all my stuff from their room and put it in my room. From their room.
So you went into their part of the house?
Yeah, they had
on
what
my
date?
Stuff.
On November 13th.
What had they taken from your room?
Perfume, bras, underwear, checkbooks, movies, clothes.
And in what room had they put that property?
Their room.
Is that correct? No. Did you take anything from her room into your room?
No.
Do you know what she's talking about?
My assumption would be...
Don't tell me what your assumption
is.
We know all...
Her and I have similar things. We shop at similar stores. Okay, we have things
Well,
that look alike.
You don't have similar checkbooks.
Yes, we both have the same bank.
Yeah,
but we
you
did not have her checkbook. We actually found our checkbooks in her possession, and we have witnesses to prove that.
Where in her possession?
In her room.
What were you doing in her room?
The lock had to be removed. It's part of the lease that there was no key locks to be put on any doors at any time. Agent and a copy of the key provided.
Listen to me. Did she sign that lease?
She refused to sign
Just
the
a
lease.
second. Before she moved in, she did not sign that lease.
No.
So she's not bound by what constraints that you're bound by. How did you get into her room? If she had a lock on her door, how did you get into her room?
I gotten really frustrated at the time, and I understand that it was wrong. And I already talked to the police about it. And
I don't hear you.
Okay. I got really frustrated, and I accidentally broke the door.
So that's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear a lot of muttering.
Okay.
You broke the door.
Right.
Well, you can't do that.
I know that. I know that now, for sure.
And after you broke the door because you couldn't have a lock, then you went into her room.
I did not. Actually,
she went into her room.
She did.
You didn't. You broke the door, but she went into the room. What did you say to her when she went into the room?
Who, me? Oh.
Yeah, what did you say to the girlfriend?
I told her to get out of there as soon as possible.
What do you mean as soon as possible? What does that mean as soon as possible?
Because she was yelling from down the hallway that she had found our checks on her floor. I said, get out of the room right now. And she was...
So your girlfriend, you broke down the door, and she went in there rummaging around to look for things. Don't shake your head. She went in, she thought were missing of hers.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You use the criminal court, and you can't do that. We don't like that kind of nonsense, shenanigans.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tamara Colvin says former roommates Elias Guerrero and Crystal Freeman owe for a false restraining order and for the return of rent. The defendants are countersuing for unpaid utility bills.
Now, who paid for the broken door?
We did. We replaced it.
Because you have the lease.
Yes.
And you did the wrong thing.
Yes.
Now I would like you to tell me about who filed a restraining order against Miss Colvin.
I did.
I want to see what you said in the restraining order. Just give me the copy of your application for a restraining order. So now it's becoming clear to me. You thought that she was taking some of your stuff. So you broke down the door. Girlfriend went in to look for her stuff. Took some stuff that she believed, rightly or wrongly, I have no idea, were hers. She came in, saw her door was busted down, saw that what she believed was her stuff had been taken, went into your room and took it back. So far, am I generally getting... Don't speak. So far, am I generally getting what happened?
Well, she actually broke into our room first.
Well, you don't know that.
Yeah, well, when we came home from Applebee's to meet with another roommate that we were possibly going to rent into, our door had been broken into.
You don't know that she broke into your door?
No, but now I do.
Well, you don't, actually. You moved in with them?
Yes, I did.
To the same space that she was living in?
Yes, after
Yes,
she
that would be
vacated.
the yes or no.
Yes.
So that you were contemplating changing roommates even before this altercation. The answer is either yes or no.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Ball is in your court. You filed an application for a protective order on the same date that it happened, mid-November. Now, you tell me. So far, I see... Stop playing with your papers. One person alleging that she stole property from their room, you breaking down her door, going in, you took property, you told her to get out of there as quickly as she could. She came out. Now there's an altercation.
I came home later that evening, and we started into an altercation that ended up in fists.
Well, you started... No, that doesn't tell me what I want to know. She came home later that evening and found that the door to her room had been busted off.
Yes.
So
we all started yelling and screaming at each other and throwing punches.
No, just a second. You all started yelling and screaming and throwing punches. What do you mean, all of you? You mean the three of you?
Yeah, the three of us.
The three of you, and?
yelling about the property, arguing who had what, who had rightful ownership. We said, you need to move out. You won't sign a lease. We can't have someone living in our house like you.
And?
The next morning, we received a call from the Arapahoe Sheriff's Department about trespassing charges.
That she was filing against you. So you got that call from the Sheriff's Department.
Yes.
You did not go to the sheriff that night.
No,
you went
she
to bed.
did the next morning.
You went to bed. So you get a call the next day that she's filing trespass charges against the two of you.
Yes.
And so what did you do?
We arranged a meeting with the officer that she had spoken to earlier to find out what exactly was in the report. We were told that...
Don't tell me what you were told. What did you were advised?
So
I don't want to hear what you were advised.
I went to the courthouse and got a
You
temporary
filed
restraining order, yes.
Which was ultimately thrown out.
No, I dismissed it. I dropped it.
I don't care whether you dismissed it or dropped it, or it was thrown out. You're responsible for her attorney's fees, because what you did was use the criminal court like a landlord and tenant court. And you can't do that. I'm going to explain it to you simply. After the alleged assault that you claim, which now you reveal was a lot of people fighting with each other, the three of you fighting with each other, you went and filed a case against her alleging an assault. I just asked you what happened. I didn't hear any assault, but you said she assaulted you. That was the write-up you gave. She didn't assault you. What you did was nothing until you heard that she was going to file something against you, and you figured it was a great way to get her out, because once they granted your temporary protective order, the judge directed that she stay 200 yards away from the house, so you have to return her November's rent, because you threw her out without reason, because that's what landlord and tenant courts are for. She's not required to sign your lease. If you wanted her to sign the lease, she moved in. Once you accepted her rent, she's entitled to be there in the month of November. Do you get it? Do you get it?
Yeah.
So you're not supposed to use the criminal court in a request for a protective order to get a leg up in a landlord and tenant case, in a custody case, in a visitation case, in a support case, as leverage for anything.
The restraining order wasn't false. She had made several threats in the course of that argument.
Listen to me. I guarantee you, you did the same. If you were punching each other, I guarantee you it wasn't silent. Whatever it is, you used the criminal court as a substitute for landlord and tenant court, and you can't do that. We don't like that kind of nonsense, shenanigans. Now you're going to show me how much you paid for a lawyer to defend the action that was brought without cause. No, I'm not buying this.
What?
So far, you've paid $65 to the lawyer. How many times did the lawyer appear for you?
3 times.
How many times did you go to...
A temporary restraining order hearing.
That you went, just a second, that you went for.
And she asked for a continuance so she could retain a lawyer.
Right. Well, of course. And then you went back, and she had the lawyer. Listen, I'm not going to get a truthful answer from her. She's trying to think too hard of where I'm going. She had a lawyer, or she did not have a lawyer when she came back?
The second time she did. Well, she had someone that represented her lawyer.
Who was that?
His
Paralegal?
No, because she's a lawyer too, but she works for him.
Okay. And that lawyer came in and did what?
Got the court reset for me.
Okay, so that adjournment was set at your lawyer's request.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
I haven't paid him yet.
Just listen to me carefully. Okay. So far, he's not entitled to be paid $3,000 for sending somebody else in for an adjournment. When was the next time he went with you to court?
The final court date when they didn't show up.
Okay, so this lawyer went with you to court once?
Yes.
And sent somebody to ask for an adjournment once?
Yes.
That's not worth the $3,000.
I didn't think so either, ma'am.
Well, it isn't. Notify the Bar Association. You call him and tell him, listen, you're entitled to $1,000, maybe, if you came with me, but you're not entitled to $3,300 for what you did. Not happening. Call the Bar Association. Tell them that you're being gouged by a lawyer.
Restaurant that I worked at, and she did not.
Listen to me. She's a liar.
Okay.
I've already told you she's a liar. I'm dismissing their counterclaim.
Thank you.
Well, except for the utilities. Utilities are going to come off what they owe you, but they owe you money. She's a liar because she used the court system for her own purposes in order to get out a tenant that she no longer wanted in the house. Now, I don't know whether you're a good tenant or a bad tenant, or whether there were problems with you or not problems with you. Frankly, I don't care. But if you accept rent from a tenant, you can't go and lie to have them removed. This bill, either I don't believe or I don't like. So take this back, Bird, please. Thank you very much. Your lawyer's entitled to $1,000 for coming with you on one occasion. You're also entitled to the $1,010 that they owe you for your rent and for your security deposit back, minus the electric.
On the electric bill, when you sign up with Excel, you have to pay a deposit depending on your history. I only agreed to pay half of the bill, not the deposit. They're adding in the deposit.
Are you including the deposit in that?
Yeah, at the time,
yes or no?
Yes,
No,
yes,
no,
yes,
Well,
it
you
is.
say yes, you say no. You want to
Yes,
look at
at the time she moved in, we assumed she was going to be there for an extended period of time. Is $200.
Ah, that's a big part of the bill.
Thank you.
Sure. That's a big part of the bill.
The original bill is $34.
What are you laughing at? What do you think is
Because
funny?
it's not what she's saying. She just kind of ruined this.
You mean your
bill.
girlfriend is not telling me the truth? That
Well,
the
no,
$200 deposit?
There is a $200 deposit on it, yes.
And who put that money in?
We have paid all of it.
Great, get it from him. He lives there now.
But this isn't the price with the deposit because I already paid it.
I want to know just what the utilities were without the deposit that she owes. Without, listen to me.
Okay.
You understand without?
Understanding right now.
Without.
Okay, it's $413.35.
So it's less than what you told me before.
Well, I can add in the extra days when she was there too, from November 11th to November 11th, and that was the $588.
I'm not giving you any credit for November at all, sir.
I know that, and I understand.
You understand why?
I just haven't been able to talk to
You
her.
understand why? Okay, very good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $22.10. Other than what I've already ruled, your counterclaim is dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused and they step out.
They lied about me. They were stealing my stuff. They took my checkbooks.
No, we found
don't
all
need
my stuff in her underwear, clothes, personal products, blow dryers.
They took my checks, and I didn't want them to clean out my bank account.
Anything she decided she was hers was hers.
I was scared, and she had my underwear. Who knows what else these people are going to do to me?
I literally had trusted someone I knew for about a month and told them not to space me, and they did.
The girl lied and said that she worked at my job and put restraining orders on me. When I couldn't show up for work, I lost my job.
The death threats or the harassment, the continuous police involvement.
I will never live with anybody again in my life, and I will be careful who I trust, and I'm going to stay by myself, no friends.
She's a manipulative liar who can put on a good show to anybody, and that's how we trusted her to move into our home.
I think it's ridiculous. Everything that has happened could have been settled out with this nice conversation.
She'll get what she deserves eventually.
Why don't you owe her your share of rent?
Because of the pain and suffering she caused to me being her roommate.
An ordeal that defies description.
One of her drug dealer friends broke in through my bedroom window, and I woke up with him on top of me.
Or is it pure fantasy?
She's sitting at the table smoking black tar heroin. I told her I've had it. I'm no longer going to take it. I'm out of here. This is illegal.
Now I'm coming to you, Shannon.
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, you are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
18-year-old Shannon Muratori is suing her ex-roommate, 18-year-old Lorelei Miller, for unpaid rent and slander.
Order. All rise. Yes, case number 5 on the calendar in the matter of Muratori versus Miller.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Why don't you ladies have a seat, please?
Ms. Muratori, you and the defendant were roommates. According to your complaint, you signed a 6-month lease in September of 2010. Ms. Miller moved out in January of 2011. And you want her to pay for February's rent?
Yes.
And you want her to compensate you for slandering you on the internet. Ms. Miller has some ridiculous counterclaim that she was subject of some sort of mental anguish because of you. I'll give her 30 seconds at the end of the case. Can I see a copy of your lease, please? It was a $250 security deposit. Is that right?
Yes.
And who got that back at the end?
No
of the
one.
lease?
They took it because there was damages to the apartment, so
Okay.
they took the security deposit.
So that wasn't returned to you?
No.
Okay. You moved out in January of 2011.
Correct.
And you paid January's rent.
Yes.
You did not pay February's rent, which is the last month of the lease.
Correct.
And how much was your share of the rent?
$450.
Well, the base rent was $1,478. How many people were living in the apartment?
Just us.
Just two.
If the total base rent was $1,478, how could your share of the rent be $450?
The month of February was prorated.
Ah, okay. Is that correct?
Yes, I have my 30-day notice. I have a copy of that.
So it's $450 is her share of February's rent, correct?
Yes. Plus $156.
For?
Because I put my apartment on the lease, like I asked them to sell it, and they sold it. And the people that were moving into my apartment needed an extra week, so they needed extra money, a week of money from me. So I had to stay in the apartment an extra week. That's just how their apartment...
That's not her problem. Okay. Why don't you owe her your share of February's rent?
I don't owe her the share of February's rent.
Because?
Because of the pain and suffering she caused to me being her roommate. Several of her drug dealer friends broke in through my bedroom window, and I woke up with him on top of me. I woke up with a blister on.
When?
This was in December 7th.
But you stayed in the apartment till January 10th.
All my stuff was there. I was not living there. I was not staying there.
Okay. Can I see the police report of that incident, please?
Excuse me. That's what I do. Yeah, stay there.
The first page.
This is January of 2011. I'm looking for December 7th, 2010.
I was given the case number for that case. That's the second piece of evidence for the stalking.
Okay. All I want to see is the police report you made on December 7th.
They're unable to print that because it takes 10 days, and I was notified of that 5 days.
That's not my problem. That would not be my problem.
Okay.
My problem would be that you have a police report that someone broke into your house and attempted to attack you on December 7th. That's a very serious charge, and somebody who is an intelligent person would call and make a police report about that. And then I would have a copy of that police report. Yes.
Yes. The formal police report was filed. Number that was provided. Is that valid?
No.
No.
Police report.
Okay.
When a police officer came out, spoke to you, took a narrative, that's a police report.
Okay, they couldn't make a complete one because she refused to give any information as to his real name and address.
That has nothing to do with you.
Okay.
That has nothing to do with your complaint. Your complaint is somebody came through a window, attempted to attack you, and if you say that you knew who it was and could give a description, that would be in a police report.
Okay.
Good. Okay. So is that why you didn't pay rent?
No.
All right. So why didn't you pay rent? If that's not why you paid rent, what do I care about it for?
Also, she was following me. I was followed for about 45 minutes.
When?
When on January 19th.
You moved out January 10th. You want to tell me why you didn't pay rent for February?
Because the January 19th, rent for February was not due yet.
So the reason you didn't pay rent in February was because she was following you on January 19th?
No, because of the pain and suffering she caused to me by these incidences.
Okay, yeah, all of February's rent, $450. Now, I want to see what you put about you on the internet. That's the second part of your claim.
It continues on the second page.
How many people have you lived with?
How many people have I lived with?
Yeah, in the past 2 years.
3.
Take your time.
3.
Who?
My aunt, a friend, and Shannon.
Did you put on the internet that she was an H addict?
Correct.
Why?
Well, from my understanding of the word slander, if it's put on...
Don't tell me what your understanding of the word slander on it.
It was libel.
The question is, why did you say that about her
Because it was true numerous times.
So it was true?
Yes.
Tell me how you know it was true.
It was a problem from day one, from when the dealer broke in. That's the reason why.
Well, explain to me.
I'd come home numerous times from work. One day I worked at a cafe, and I wasn't expected to come home till around 4:30. I come home. She's sitting at the table smoking black tar heroin.
Smoking?
Yes, with foil and straws. And I told her, I'm out of here, I'm done, you need help.
Okay, on what date was that?
I don't have the exact date for you. Month? December.
You lived with her September, October, and November?
Correct.
And part of January?
Yeah.
How many instances of this did you see?
Most of these
How many instances of what you just described did you see?
Several, I can't give an exact number, but several times.
Well, give me the month that you saw it. You seem to remember the December date. You seem to remember that very, very well.
Yes, because that's when I told her I've had it. I'm no longer going to take it. I'm out of here. I'm not going to put my risk in life. This is illegal. If a call comes in right now, I'm in trouble as well as you.
And she said to you?
Nothing.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I've told her numerous times to drug test me. If she's willing to pay for it, I will more than happy go and take the drug test for her. And her speaking of me using heroin, absurd.
And later today.
You know, sometimes you get a little older, you get a little loopy. I don't know whether he's loopy or not. Certainly giving strange young women money when he's married 61 years and going to their apartments is not smart.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shannon Muratori says ex-roommate Lorelei Miller owes for rent and slander. Lorelei claims she was forced to move when she discovered Shannon smoking heroin.
Now I'm coming to you, Shannon, to me, that the defendant is just describing.
All right. So.
All right.
Sorry, Your Honor. And so you're asking me to describe the incident of when the guy broke in?
No.
The other incident about the H addict?
The other incident about coming home and seeing you smoking a black tarry substance.
I've told her numerous times to drug test me. If she's willing to pay for it, I will more than happy go and take the drug test for her. I have a loved one who has been using heroin for over 6 years, and I've had parents approach me and call me a drug addict. And when people come to me and call me that, it doesn't fly with me. Like, because I've been around the drug world since I was a little kid, for someone to come up and call me a drug addict, I don't stand for that. And so I don't understand how I don't do drugs. Like, I've seen it. I've seen what it does to people. And for drugs to be involved in my life, like, I've seen how my loved one went down the wrong path, and I obviously don't want that for myself. I've had numerous friends overdose, and their funerals are too unbearable. And I just don't her speaking of me using heroin, absurd.
Okay. Ms. Miller, the February's rent, your counterclaims dismissed. Next time, girls, be very careful. When you choose somebody as a roommate, you take on a whole new package. Sometimes it's better off to live in a closet by yourself than living with the roommate. I don't know. I never had one. What?
The claim was for $1,000.
I understand.
Okay.
You want damages for her statement on the internet that you were a heroin addict. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to award you the other $550 and hold it in court. When you have a hair follicle test and that comes up clean, you'll get the rest of your judgment. Do you understand?
Sounds
Is that
good.
fair?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Your Honor.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Her dealer came into my room, and I woke up at 6 a.m.
So, that's funny. She slept with him.
That is not true.
She got super on clonazepam and Xanax.
This guy is 32 years old. I just turned 18.
And she was not coherent. She was in his bedroom.
Why would I want anything to do with a 32-year-old on top of me?
So I go to the room, bang on the door.
People on drugs, would you trust them?
He's not letting me through. I punched him in the face.
I'm denying what they're saying.
To get Lorelei out of the situation.
It's completely not true.
I physically had to carry her out of the apartment, down to the car. Oh, be my guest, man. Like, I'm not tripping.
And then re-record what she just said, and
I got this.
For everyone to see what
My neighbors know that I would never touch that.
Yeah, and for everyone to know that she's a liar.
So, I mean, it's just people who know me, like, know I would never do anything like that, so.
I'm all for it, to give her a chance to tell everyone what's true after she takes the follicle test.
Oh, Lorelai is one interesting person, to say the least.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kugelstadt versus Stewart. Step forward.
Oscar Kugelstadt is suing his former friend, Inez Stewart, for several unpaid loans. Inez says Oscar's lawsuit is the result of her rejecting his advances.
Mr. Kugelstadt, it is your claim that you made a loan to the defendant, actually a series of smaller loans. You want your money back. Ms. Stewart says she was a friend of yours, and she does acknowledge that you paid some bills for her, gave her some money, but she says that all of that was by way of gift, and that she's sorry she began this friendship with you because it was a relationship where she wanted less than you did, and she's suggesting that you wanted to be more than just a friend to her. Ms. Stewart, how did you meet the plaintiff?
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
It's never been a problem for me. I can always speak up.
Okay.
How did you meet the plaintiff?
I met him through a mutual friend in my apartment.
Who?
Her name is Sharon.
Do you know Sharon, Mr. Kugelstadt?
Yes.
How do you know Sharon?
She used to be an employee of mine and also a tenant.
Do you have real estate? Is that how you...
At the time, I did.
What kind of real estate did you have?
I had several apartment buildings and a couple of dozen mobile homes.
Was that what you did for a living, manage real estate?
Actually, I'm a licensed painting contractor, but I did that as a result of the earnings as an investment.
Mr. Kugelstadt, are you a married man?
Yes.
How long have you been married?
61 years.
Did you ever lend Sharon money?
On occasion.
Why?
She was in need of money, and she wanted to borrow $20. I never asked her back because it was not much.
Was it just $20 that you gave Sharon?
Yeah.
You gave Miss Stewart a lot more money than that.
Yes.
Why?
Because she seemed to be in distress financially.
How were you introduced to her?
I was introduced to her when I visited my former employee, and she was in the living room at the time, and she introduced me.
What were you doing visiting Sharon? House for? Why didn't she come to your office?
I don't have an office.
Why doesn't she come to your house?
She did on occasion.
Okay. So you met Miss Stewart when you went to visit Sharon, and Miss Stewart was in Sharon's apartment?
Correct.
So that's how you met her. When did you meet her?
Must have been around beginning of January of last year.
Did you re-employ Sharon?
No.
When was the next time you saw Miss Stewart?
A day or two later.
Where?
At her former apartment. She needed me to look at the apartment because her landlord sent her a bunch of pictures claiming that she did a lot of damage to the apartment, and she needed me as a professional witness to attest to whether or not that is factual. And except for some minor points, I could not find any damage.
What were you doing with him, Miss Stewart?
I wasn't doing anything with Oscar.
Why did you take money from him, Miss Stewart?
Well, Oscar was a nice older man.
Yes, he's a nice older man.
Yes,
and I guarantee you his wife doesn't know that he's giving all these young women money.
Well, he
guaranteed.
He was helping me out because I was in a financial situation.
Why would you even tell him that you were in financial distress, Miss Stewart?
Because he was an ex-landlord.
Why would you take...
A nice man, he was offering, you know...
He was a nice old man. Why would you take money from him?
Because he was nice and he was a nice friend.
Give me a break, will you please?
No, he was a nice
gentleman. Give me a break.
He gave me some money.
Even she can't keep the smile off her face, this one.
Just smiling.
Why would you take money from a nice old man?
Because he knew my situation.
He didn't know your situation unless you told him.
Yeah, I did tell him. I told him my financial situation.
Miss Stewart, how old are you, Mr. Kugelstadt?
81.
He's 81 years old. How old are you, Miss Stewart?
I'm 32.
Why would you tell an 81-year-old man your trouble?
Because when I was introduced to him, he was an ex-landlord. I was moving out of my property, and he was helping me basically get my deposit back from my previous landlord.
Why would you ask him for help?
He offered help.
Why would he even know that you needed help?
I thought he was being nice.
Give him back the money he gave you. He may be foolish. You're not foolish. You know what the score was. He may not know whether today is Tuesday or Friday, but you know.
I know what his intentions were.
You, listen to me, things that are not real. I'm not excusing his behavior by giving strange young women money. You know, sometimes you get a little older, you get a little loopy. I don't know whether he's loopy or not. Certainly giving strange young women money when he's married 61 years and going to their apartments is not smart, sir. I don't know whether this is a recent onset or whether you've suffered from it for a long time.
Well, it was not her apartment at the time.
I know. Yeah, it was.
It was empty.
Do you get my drift?
Yes.
How much money did he give you?
Well
is not an answer. A figure, a number.
$2,000 altogether.
How much?
My calculations. $2,000.
He doesn't even say he gave you $2,000.
Those are my calculations.
For down payments on an apartment, Mr. Kugelstadt, that was $600 for security and $180 to buy a refrigerator. Is that right?
Correct.
All right. And as far as the groceries and bills are concerned, you take care of that. She owes you $780. Don't be foolish anymore.
I try not to.
Well, you are being foolish. A 30-year-old woman doesn't want anything to do with an 80-year-old man except for money.
Yes,
money. Doesn't want to be a Facebook associate. She wants you stop.
I'm a sucker for
That's
tears.
all. $780. Goodbye.
Oh, he's excused. You may step out.
He was mad because, you know, he wanted something that I wasn't willing to do.
That's a big fat-out lie.
He had sexual intentions, and I wasn't down for that.
82 years old. I'm 82 years old.
He came at me sexually, and I couldn't give him the money.
Okay. Do I have to draw a picture?
And he turned into a grouch after I couldn't give him the money.
It's not going to happen.
No, I would never take advantage of anybody.
Don't loan any more money.
She can't withhold my belongings from me.
Your belongings didn't belong there.
A roommate leaves in a panic.
When somebody tells me that they're cooking meth in their house, I'm going to grab my kid and clothes and bounce.
So why did she go back?
I don't believe that the police officer told you, get in any way you can, so you broke in the window.
The window was open.
You can't do that. Minimally, it's trespassing. At most, it's burglary.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Her roommate, 24-year-old Jessica Guerrero, for rent, property damage, and stolen belongings.
Order. All rise. It's case number 535 on the calendar, no matter Witherspoon versus Guerrero.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Witherspoon, the defendant was a former roommate of yours. She was actually a tenant. And it is your claim that she moved out, she owes you rent, and then she came back to the apartment. She broke into the apartment, made a big mess, and took some property, not only hers, but yours. You want to be compensated for that. Ms. Guerrero says that you have some of her property and that in addition she's got some claim for lost wages that quite frankly I don't understand, but she'll explain to me shortly. Now, when did Ms. Guerrero move in with you and why?
November 5th. She texted me over the phone that her mother had kicked her out, that they had gotten into a fight, and she needed a place to live. So I had offered...
And you knew her from where?
Our kids went to preschool together.
Okay.
I had offered her a place to live in my guest house. I said if she paid half of the rent, which was $325.
A freestanding guest house, or is it part of the property where you live?
It's part of the property where I live with Carol Bell, the landlord.
So it's not your property, it's this lady's property, and you rent from her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go.
So she moved in with me 2 weeks later.
November 5th?
Yes, November 5th, after the text.
And you have a lease with Carol?
Yes, I did.
Is it a month-to-month lease or is it an annual lease?
It's a month-to-month.
How much was the rent?
$575.
So you were paying $575, and you agreed to rent part of that premises to Miss Guerrero for $325.
Yes.
And she was going to pay you the $325, and you were going to pay Carol $575. So far, am I correct?
Yes. Except the utilities.
I'm not talking about utilities,
yes.
I'm talking rent. And you had already been living there over a year and paying the $575.
Yes.
Had you ever had any roommates before?
Yes.
When?
About a month or two before her.
For how long?
A year.
And who was that?
His name was Zach.
Was he somebody that you knew?
Yes.
And how much rent did he pay you?
He paid the...
Miss Guerrero move out?
December 12th.
Do you have another roommate?
No, I do not.
What month rent do you claim Miss Guerrero owes to you?
November through January.
She wasn't there in January?
No, she wasn't. Her stuff was still there, and she did not pay.
Did you pay rent in November?
Yes, I did. When I moved in, I paid rent to Brittany. Brittany gave it to Carol. I got a receipt.
How much did you pay?
I paid $325.
In November?
Yes.
Do you have the receipt?
I don't have the receipts.
Did you get your rent, madam, for November?
Not from Jessica.
I didn't ask you. I said, did you get your rent, your $575?
Not in full, no. That's why she doesn't have the receipt.
Did you pay in check or cash?
I paid in cash.
Where did you get the money from?
I was working.
Now, what about December? Did you pay in December?
December, I paid $150. I moved out on December 16th, and I told Brittany I was moving out because the landlord had told me on December 14th that she had been in jail before for 18 months for possession of meth or using meth or cooking meth on her property. I immediately was upset. I felt as though that wasn't safe for my son to be there, and I told Brittany I'm leaving. I gave you $150 for December. I took most of my stuff.
All of it.
I did not have a big enough truck to get all of my stuff, and I asked Brittany, could I keep my stuff there, and when was it okay to come and get my stuff? She said, that's fine. You can keep your stuff here. I continued.
You mean she told you could keep your stuff there indefinitely?
No, she told me that I could keep my stuff there until I was able to go back and get the remaining stuff. There was only like 2 boxes of stuff that I had left.
Show me how big the boxes were.
They were like tubs, 16-gallon tubs that you get at Walmart for $4 that you put Christmas decorations and stuff like that in.
And where did you leave the 2 tubs?
I left the tubs inside of the house.
Where?
I guess in the corner that was.
No, tell me what you guess. Where did you leave the 2 tubs?
They were in the house next to the bed that I used.
Were they in a bedroom?
We didn't have a bedroom. There was no bedrooms. It was a big studio.
Okay. So the only thing that was yours that was there were these 2 tubs.
Tubs and...
Were the 2 tubs?
Right, that had my belongings inside of it.
I assumed that they had stuff inside the tubs. Everything else you took with you. On what date did you come back for them?
I came back on January 11th.
What took you a month to get back there for your stuff?
Because every time I would text message her and tell her, hey, can I come get my stuff? Can't come get it today. Can you come tomorrow? So it was
Can you show me that?
I don't have the text messages.
When you left her house, where did you go?
I had already rented another apartment.
When?
I had signed the lease on December 28th. So when I moved out on December 16th, I was staying with a friend until that apartment was available for me to move in on December 30th.
When had you seen that apartment?
I mean, throughout the time of me staying with Brittany, I was looking for another place to stay. So I had been looking throughout the whole time I was staying there.
Okay. So you moved into your new apartment on January 1st.
Yes.
Because you signed the lease. So what took you from January 1st to January 11th to get your 2 tubs?
It was for her to be, I mean, I didn't feel as though I could just show up there because that wasn't my place of residence anymore. I felt that I needed to have her agreement saying that it was okay for me to come and get my things. If she tells me, no, I can't come and get them, then I'm not going to show up at her place.
Well, but you did show up at her place.
Yes, because on January 11th, she said it was okay. I assumed that she was home.
Just a second. So on January 11th, she said, okay. What time were you supposed to be there?
I didn't give her a time. I just told her that I was coming. I went at about...
Well, that's ridiculous. You mean she's supposed to wait inside all day for you?
She wasn't there anyway. She was at work the whole day. And I didn't know that.
Well, then how do you expect to get into the premises?
Because I had a key.
You can't have a key to a premises that's not. First 2 weeks in December.
Well, she didn't tell me that she was not going to be there. I was under the impression that when I went there, she was there. The only person that was there was Carol.
Baloney. You know, you're a bit of a fibber because I read your answer, and I just wanted to try to put your hand down.
Sorry.
Just like to gauge what kind of person you are, because what happened was you got there, the locks were changed.
Right.
So you called the police.
No, the police already came with me.
According to you, the policeman said to you, which I don't believe, get in any way you can. This is what you say.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't believe it.
I understand that you may not believe it, Your Honor, but the fact of the matter is it was there.
Out.
I'm sorry.
Out.
I won't say any more, I promise.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Brittany Witherspoon says former roommate Jessica Guerrero owes for rent and for damaging and stealing her belongings when she moved out. Jessica is countersuing for lost wages and stolen property.
Police officer told her she couldn't keep my things from me, and she wasn't supposed to change the locks.
Correct.
She was supposed to change. She could change the locks.
My mother was there. She can change the locks, but she can't withhold my belongings from me.
No, that's why you sue her.
That's why I called the police. I made a
No.
keep the peace call. They told me, you make a keep the peace call if you want to get your belongings. When it comes to money, that's a civil matter. That's what they told me.
Listen to
I
me
can still
very
get my
carefully.
belongings.
Your belongings didn't belong there. And she's allowed to change the locks because I haven't read the next line, which I don't believe at all. Because the next line was, believe me, I don't believe it. I don't believe that you told a police officer that you only paid rent through December 15th. And now we're a month later. And the police officer told you they can't withhold your property and get in any way you can, so you broke in the window.
I didn't break in the window. The window was open.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Shh.
I have pictures of footprints. I have pictures with me today. And my landlord witnessed her breaking through.
No, she didn't.
She can testify.
She wasn't
I
even
was
there.
there the whole time.
My mother was there when I climbed through the window. My mother was standing right there next to me.
You can't do that. It's trespassing. Minimally, it's trespassing. At most, it's burglary. You're going into a place that doesn't belong. You have no connection to. You're not a tenant. You didn't pay rent. You had no business being. You knew she worked. So you went there anticipating that she was going to be working.
No, that is not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
I
tell me
told
what
her,
you're saying.
I texted her and I said, I'm coming today to get my stuff. Is that okay? She said, yes, that is fine. Okay, well, when you tell me that it's fine, when you tell me that it's okay for me to come get my stuff.
When a plumber calls me and says, I'm coming, I say, give me a window, 9 to 11.
She didn't
11 to 1.
She didn't ask that.
Okay,
she didn't ask that.
I don't buy it. Okay, now, I believe she paid rent. I believe she paid you the rent for November, and I believe she gave you $150 for December. So let's move on from rent. What else do you think she owes you for?
When she went into the house, when she broke in, there was items missing. My laptop was broken. I have...
Wow. Listen to me. You have a police report?
Your Honor, I have Carol...
I'm not interested in Carol. I'm interested in the police report.
Okay.
Your Honor, I have a police report.
Does it have a statement by the plaintiff?
Yes, it actually,
okay,
in my
fine.
police report...
Shh. I can read. Just let me have it.
This was from the sheriff that responded to my call.
Just let me read it.
Okay.
How many computers do you own? Just answer my questions. What kind of computer was it?
Sony Vaio white laptop. I have a picture of it as well.
I don't want to look at a picture. You left with your child on December 16th. And it was planned that you would leave on that day, according to you?
No.
Oh, yes, because according to you, you said, I'm going to give you half the month, but I'm moving out. You took yourself, and you took all of your property except for 2 tubs. Nobody goes without their laptop. Nobody goes without their expensive laptop.
Well, I did.
You take your child in one hand, you take the laptop in another, and you leave. Unless, of course, you have expensive jewelry, unless you have expensive furs. You take your laptop, your phone, and your kid, not necessarily in that order. So I don't believe that you left in the house for a month in a tub your computer.
My mom was there with me.
I don't, listen, your mom's going to tell me that. I don't believe your mother, and I don't believe you. Do you want to know why? It doesn't make sense.
I agree with you. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense to me, it's not true. Phone,
tell her it is.
Computer, and kid. Not necessarily in that order.
I understand
now,
that,
you
but
took
when...
your phone. And what you told me was in the tubs, you know, the kind of tubs, you know, where you store Christmas decorations. That's what you said. Not a computer.
It's in the tubs.
So I don't believe there was a computer there.
It was in the tubs. There was a computer. I mean, pretty much, like, when somebody tells me that they're cooking meth in their house, I'm going to grab my kid and close and bounce. That's what I did. I left 2 tubs with things in there.
And tell her it's in the
police. I mean,
I heard,
it's in the,
I heard what she said.
It's in the police report.
Just a second. Not interested. I don't believe it. I don't believe that there was a computer there.
There was.
That she came back. I don't care what you say.
If you read the police report, Your Honor, it does stipulate Carol.
Carol even said that
it's information in the last paragraph of that police report.
Listen to me. I don't believe it.
I understand that you may not believe it, Your Honor, but the fact of the matter is it was there.
Good.
It was there.
Listen,
and I agree with you that it was a very stupid move on her part. I really nailed her for that one because I thought it was ridiculous.
I have items that
But
were
it was
missing
there.
when she broke into my house. I have
That's not true.
transactions, fake statements stating
what?
Damages.
Bank statements stating what?
Stating that there were damages to the houses. I have walkthrough.
What is a bank?
I'm sorry.
Out.
I won't say anymore, I promise.
Go ahead.
I have damages done to Carol that was
Not interested. Listen, Miss Witherspoon, you going to get another roommate?
No, probably not.
Good.
Because I don't want anything like this to ever happen again.
You live there alone with your kid?
with my daughter.
With your daughter? Fine. And you don't have any trouble with Carol?
No.
Great. Terrific. You had some trouble with your mother?
No.
Yes, she did.
What was the reason that you moved
I wasn't even living with my mom when I moved to her house. I was living with my father. I mean, I don't understand where she's getting that from. If I have troubles with my mom, I'm going to say I have troubles with my mom. Every mother-daughter relationship is not perfect. That's not the reason why I moved there. I moved there because I needed to go back to that area, to that city, so I can go for my job. That's why I needed a place to stay. Not because I have troubles with my mom. That's not the reason.
Ms. Guerrero, just tell me, when you texted the plaintiff initially, when you were looking for an apartment, would you tell me, to the best of your recollection, what you said to her?
I said, hey.
Now look at me. Tell me, to the best of your recollection, in the text.
Hey, do you still have that room for rent? She said, yes. She answered to me like 2 or 3 days later, yes. Okay, I said, well, is it okay if I still move in? Mind you, over the summer, she had asked me if I wanted to move in.
She needed a place to stay because...
She knows everything.
That's what happened.
Anyways, I text messaged her. She said yes. I said, when is a good day to move in? She said, any day. I said, okay, I'm going to move in on this day because that's what's feasible for me and that's when I get paid. So that's when I'll be able to pay you the rent.
No, I believe that you paid
rent.
rent.
Under rent anyways, so...
I believe. She's suing you for rent. I believe that you paid rent.
I paid rent. I mean, there was no lease agreement, and I still paid the rent. I paid the rent.
And even Jackie is my witness. She was late on her rent. I had to pay for her.
There was no set date of when the rent was due. Brittany pays rent weekly, every other day.
Listen, you're both talking at one time. You want to do that, go someplace else.
However, she decided to pay her rent, but her nor Carol ever told me.
All I want to know is, you said you gave her your rent.
Yes, I did.
For November?
For November and for December.
And $150 for December.
No.
And I figured I was a prorated amount because I decided on my own to move out.
Your Honor.
That's fine. You could do that. You can move out. You can move out. She doesn't owe you for any rent. Now, I'm going to take a look at one more thing on your complaint. I'm going to look at what the police officer said the apartment looked like.
Okay.
If he or she has indicated that when they responded to the location.
Okay. I have pictures, too.
I don't want to see your pictures. Observed. Well, this is interesting. The police officer says that the police officer witnessed you going into the garage and removing 3 boxes of your belongings. Put your hand down. I thought you said you only left 2 boxes there.
2, 3.
No, not 2, 3. Not 2, 3. The police officer observed you remove 3 boxes of your belongings. And after looking through the boxes, you said there is stuff here that's missing.
That is correct.
You said?
Yes.
Okay. There's nothing in this police report about your property being vandalized or taken.
But the officer wouldn't know what was my stuff or her stuff.
No, the officer, if somebody came in, burglarized my house and stole my property, I would make a police report. There's nothing in here about it.
I did make a police report.
I don't have a copy of the police report. You don't have a copy of the police report. Go about your business, girls. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I let people take advantage of me.
For one, not to roommate with anyone else.
She was mooching, so...
And for two, keep my child and all my electronic gadgets.
I mean, I won't let that happen again.
Close by, as if I did give birth to them.
You just can't really trust anybody.
Honestly, I don't think that anything really fell apart with Brittany, the landlord and I, because she does do meth.
Okay, well, I'm here today. I'll explain to you.
Look up Carol Bell. Yeah.
I'll explain to you.
She was in prison for 18 months for cooking meth in her house. That's why I left.
I'm trying to get custody of my grandbaby.
A grandmother's drastic move
I guarantee you that alienating her father is not a good step.
is pushing her son away.
He's the one that keeps me away from him and the child and everything else.
Now she risks losing both.
My daughter doesn't want to go over there and visit her.
I've seen her once this year, and it's the only time I've seen her this year.
I understand that you're annoyed.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Barbara Lewis is suing her son, Michael Lewis, for the return of furniture she purchased when he lived with her.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 543 on the calendar in the matter of Lewis versus Lewis.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ah, Mrs. Lewis.
Yes.
And eventually, why you decided to bring this lawsuit. I understand that you're annoyed, so let's not question that.
Okay.
Because this is your son,
Yes.
who you clearly love.
Yes.
And the mother of his child passed away, is that right?
Yes.
And you got custody of your daughter when she was how old?
4 years old.
And at the time, your mother suggested that you all move into a house together.
No, Your Honor, that's not correct.
Well, tell me what happened.
I was already living with my mom before I took custody of my daughter.
Okay, so you were living with your mother
Yes, Your Honor.
in her house.
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are you?
38.
Have you always lived with your mother?
Besides the 4 years I was in the military, yes.
Did you live with your mother at the time you had this child for the full 4 years before her mother passed away? Did you
Yes.
live with your mother?
Yes.
In what year did you take full custody of your daughter?
2007, I believe. Six.
Okay.
2006.
And your mother says in her complaint that she bought some furniture at that time. Is that true?
The furniture was purchased in 2009, Your Honor.
Who purchased it?
It was placed on her credit card, Your Honor.
Who paid the credit card?
She wrote all the checks, Your Honor, but all my checks from my job.
How much were you earning at the time?
At the time, I was earning about $477 every 2 weeks. Plus, there was also a check that my daughter received for about $600 a month.
What did she receive a check for $600 a month?
Because her mother passed away.
And what did you do with that check?
It also went into her account, Your Honor.
Is that correct?
He doesn't have an account. See, I used to work at the bank, so all my accounts are free.
I just want to know if
Yes.
his paycheck and your granddaughter's check went into your checking account.
Yes.
And from that checking account, what did you do with your granddaughter's money?
All her money went to his bills for that house.
What about his paycheck? What did you use his paycheck for?
Now, he was not working when we moved into this house.
No, I'm not talking about when you moved in. I'm talking about when the furniture was purchased.
That's what I'm saying. When the furniture was purchased, he was not working.
Is that correct, sir?
No, Your Honor. I didn't have steady employment. However, I did work several contractor jobs.
All right, so you didn't have steady work.
No, ma'am.
So the only money that was coming into the house regularly was your daughter's $600.
Yes, Your Honor. And also-
Right. Okay.
Also, Your Honor, at the time when I wasn't employed, I was doing a lot of work for her on 3 other houses that we do own at this time, or she owns at this time.
Did you eat?
Yes, sure.
Did you have
I mean, Your Honor.
What you need food stamps for if you were working for your mother? You were working for your mother, was she paying you?
No, she wasn't, Your Honor.
Okay, she bought some furniture. And who was the furniture used for, Mr. Lewis?
There was a bedroom suite that I purchased earlier that I given to my daughter when we moved into the new house. And we purchased a new bedroom suite, which was used in my room, as my bedroom suite.
Who purchased your daughter's bedroom furniture?
She had an arrangement with my grandmother, and she paid my grandmother, and she took the money out of my paycheck.
And what about the bedroom furniture that was purchased for you?
She had taken out an equity loan on the first house that we moved out of. And in the equity loan, she wanted to go ahead and pay off her vehicle so she wouldn't have to pay a car note. Well, when we went to purchase the furniture, the bedroom suite came out to be about $2,500, and there wasn't enough to cover the mattresses also. So she said that since I'd allow her to pay her car off out of the equity money, that...
Whose house was it?
It's in her name, but...
Right, it's her house.
But I paid half of the bills there, Your Honor.
I don't care if you paid half the bills, it's her house.
And she said that she would go ahead and
got it.
pay for the suit.
Anyway, you left when, sir?
I'm not sure exactly what day. It's about 2
What day
weeks,
did you leave
2
the
to 3 weeks prior.
I don't have the exact date myself because I was just so angry that day. But anyway, it was towards the 1st of September, last of August.
When did you, why?
I had rented me an apartment, found me an apartment to move into. I rented the U-Haul, and I came to just get my furniture, so...
But the furniture she purchased, at least your furniture, if I believe everything that you say, she purchased your furniture. She bought it, right?
Yes, Your Honor, as a gift. She said,
she bought it for her house. When you took the furniture that you had been sleeping on out of her house, was the room empty?
No.
What was in there?
There's still a few clothes and items left.
Now, was there a bed?
No.
Was there a dresser?
No.
Was there night tables?
No. There was no furniture there when we moved in either, Your Honor.
That's right. There was no furniture when you moved in until she bought furniture. That's what you have to do. You have to buy furniture if you move into an apartment, sir.
But she's been receiving all the money from my paychecks as well as the...
Sir, you didn't have a paycheck in 2009. You weren't working.
Your Honor,
you weren't working. The only money that was coming in was your daughter's money, which evidently you were using to live on.
Your Honor, I can show where I have been working during that time where I have made some money.
Oh, well, show me. 2009. Don't give me all those papers, you know. I have other things to do today other than this ridiculous case.
That there you have before you, Your Honor, is the work that was done. Everything that's underlined, I actually done that work myself with my own hands.
You weren't paid.
Correct.
Could you give this back to him, please? Thank you very much.
This work was done for her, Your Honor.
Mr. Lewis, let me ask you a question, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
How many people lived in the house?
Me, my mother, and my daughter, Your Honor.
Did you have a girlfriend?
Not living there.
In 2009, did you have a girlfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you spend some time with her, evenings? Ever take her out to dinner, to a movie?
No, Your Honor.
Ever hang out at her house?
Yes, Your Honor.
How many days a week would you say you hung out at your girlfriend's house?
Actually, it wasn't often, Your Honor. I wasn't
Give
able...
me an idea, sir.
It was maybe once every 2 weeks.
And who took care of your young child when you were hanging out with your girlfriend?
My mother.
And when you were working at all these little jobs that you were doing, and your daughter came home from school, who was there?
My mother.
You got where I'm going?
Yes, Your Honor.
Perfect. Now we're going to get to my real question, Miss Lewis, which is, I'd like to know why you're suing him. And don't tell me because he took my furniture, because that was a ridiculous thing for him to do, to take the bedroom furniture. But I want to know, I assume that you were close to your granddaughter, so I'd like to know why you're suing her father.
Really because of my granddaughter. No, I'm not, but I know he does. I'm trying to get custody of my grandbaby. As of now, I have no rights. But at the same time, when I get her back, I want that furniture in the house. And I'm suing him for the furniture and...
All right, in anticipating getting custody of your granddaughter.
And then he should have never came and stole my furniture in the first place.
Of course.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What do you want?
There's another issue. There was a settlement that I received from my truck being totaled out, about $3,500. And $1,500 of that was left in the account. I'm just saying that this money has been taken.
And later today...
Did she tell you that she had been abused physically and emotionally?
She did not.
Well, she's back with him now.
Right. I know.
Doesn't get the fact. Once an abuser, always an abuser.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Barbara Lewis says her son, Michael Lewis, took furniture she purchased when he moved out of her home. Michael is claiming the furniture belongs to him.
Now, He shouldn't have. He should not have come and taken the furniture.
Your Honor, I couldn't have stolen the furniture. I mean, she claims that I broke in and maliciously took the
No, she
furniture.
didn't say you broke in. She said you came with the police.
He came and drove up with a truck with his friend.
She
and
called the
I
police,
called
Your
the police because
It's still not there.
Okay.
Because in practically every jurisdiction that I know of in the United States, in order to remove a child from the custody of a parent, there has to be some very special circumstance. And that can't be just that you would make a better parent. That's not the circumstance.
No.
So I don't know what steps you have taken in order to get custody of your granddaughter. But I guarantee you that alienating her father is not a good step.
No, he's the one that backing away from me. I just threw him out the house. He's the one that keeps me away from him and the child and everything else.
Well, when was the last time you saw your granddaughter?
I seen her once this year, and it was on the 14th of February, which is Valentine's Day. That's the only time I've seen her this year.
Is there any reason for that, Mr. Lewis?
My daughter doesn't want to go over there and visit her.
Why?
I guess it's because of what she's taking me through.
Who takes care of your daughter now?
She's staying with her nana at this time.
What's a
Her
nana?
other grandmother. I'm sorry.
Where is she staying?
She lives with me, but when I'm not at home, she asks, because I asked her, I said, who do you want to go stay with? You want to go stay with your nana? You want to stay with your other grandmother? She tells me nana. I don't argue with her. I let her be happy.
How far away does her other grandmother live from where you live?
About 30 minutes.
And who?
School.
And who picks her up after school?
Her nana or her grandfather.
And where are you?
At work.
Where do you work?
At Walmart.
Okay. Now, you took both sets of furniture, both your daughter's and yours. You took two.
Yes, Your Honor.
You have to return yours because I'm going to do your mother a big favor. I'm not going to take her granddaughter's bed and her bedroom set from her. But you have to return your furniture. Go buy your own furniture. Your daughter's furniture can stay with your daughter. What do you want?
There's another issue. There was a settlement that I received from my truck being totaled out. It's about $3,500. And $2,000 of that money, while she says I haven't paid for anything, was taken to pay to get caught up on the bills because we were behind on the bills. And $1,500 of that was left in the account. After she asked me to move out, I asked her about that $1,500. She told me that she had to pay the property taxes on the other houses with that $1,500.
I don't have a counterclaim, Mr. Lewis. If you had a counterclaim, I would listen to you. But you don't have a counterclaim.
I'm not asking for this money back. I'm just saying that this money has been taken and it hasn't been provided.
Mr. Lewis, you have to return the furniture that you took that your mother bought in 2009. Put it down. Not the child's furniture. Do you understand, Mrs. Lewis? And if perchance you get your... And meanwhile, you have your bedroom where you sleep and you have a spare room. And Mr. Lewis is going to buy his own furniture because he's working and he has somebody who babysits for free. So he should have plenty of money to buy his own furniture, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good. 5 days from today, we'll prepare the order. Thank you very much. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I hate what he's done.
I actually feel like she's lost track of family.
But I still love my son.
And has let money take over.
Despite whatever he says.
I mean, we're here today.
I just want him to grow up.
Like I said, we shouldn't even be here in the first place.
And I want to see my grandbaby.
Should have been taken care of without having to come here.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Scheller versus Largent. Step forward, please.
25-year-old Jesse Scheller is suing ex-girlfriend 22-year-old Andrea Largent for an unpaid loan to help her leave an abusive relationship.
Mr. Scheller, you claim that the defendant owes you some money as a result of a loan.
Yes.
And you knew each other in high school? Is that where you knew each other from?
Correct. She was a girlfriend of 2 years.
Tell me about the loan. When did it take place? Why?
On August 25th, 2010, I got a random phone call from Andrea. She was hysterical on the phone. Loan, she said she had asked her grandparents, parents, brother, none of which she could get it from. She said I was her last resort. She wouldn't tell me why she needed it first. We went back and forth. It turned out...
Did you call him on the 25th of August?
I did, Your Honor.
Why?
I was in a bad situation with my boyfriend, and I needed to get out of the situation. I'd always looked to Jesse through relationships that I've had after him, and always called him whenever I was having problems, and he always helped talk me through it. So I called him and
How long had it been since you'd spoken to him?
A few months. He's friends with my brother, so, I mean, we have that connection.
How many months? 2 months, 3 months, 5 months?
2 months.
And how long had it been since you saw him?
Probably around the same time.
So you called him and told him that you were having problems, you had to get out of your current living situation. And?
I was never asking him for money. I was just trying to have someone help me kind of cope with the situation.
Why did you need someone to help you cope with the situation?
Because I had always looked to Jesse as a person to help me.
You mean you were looking for advice?
Yeah.
So how did advice turn into money?
He was the one that offered me money, said, you know, I still care about you. I want you to get out of this situation. I need you to take this money. And I said, I don't have a job. I don't have any way to pay you back. I can't take the money. And he kept insisting.
What did he want you to do with the money?
He wanted me to get out. He wanted me to move out.
So the money was given to you because you were about the relationship because it was abusive?
Yes.
Physically abusive or emotionally abusive or both?
Both.
So had you ever had the police involved in your relationship with your boyfriend?
Yes.
How many times?
One time.
Was that before or after August 25th, 2010?
It was prior.
How much prior?
A month and a half.
So shortly before?
Yeah.
And the domestic violence that you were living with didn't dissipate. It was escalating, which is the reason for your call to Mr. Scheller.
Yes.
So he said, I want you to take this money and get out and move out.
Yes.
So you said, okay.
At first I insisted.
Eventually you said, okay, because you took the money.
Yes.
Did you get out?
Yes, for a while, but then...
Where did you go?
I went to a friend's house in Spokane.
Well,
because
they didn't spend any money in friend's house in Spokane.
I had to pay her rent.
How long were you there?
3 months.
Really? How much rent do you say you paid her for each of the 3 months that you were there?
$250 a month plus utilities, so probably around $400.
Roughly around
per month, yes.
Okay. And what were you doing when you were living with Sarah?
Trying to find a job and get my life back together.
Did you find a job?
No.
Did you ultimately go back to the boyfriend?
Yes, I did.
What? Why?
Because he never told me I had to pay him back. So
no, your intention was that he gave you the money according to you. And the agreement was, I'm going to give you this money if you move out because I want you to be safe. Because right now you tell me you're not safe. Did she tell you that she had the police involved?
She did not.
Did she tell you that she had been abused physically and emotionally?
She did not, but I had gathered from her hystericalness for the way she had presented herself. I had recently been involved with a friend who had been in an abusive relationship, and it sounded along the same lines.
Well, she's back with him now.
Right, I know.
Doesn't get the fact, once an abuser, always an abuser. Unless, of course, he's been for years of anger management. I assume he hasn't done that.
No.
You know how long it's going to last, this calm? Not long. You don't have children with him, do you?
No. Good. We're not together anymore.
Better. How long did it last going back?
Up until about 4 days ago.
Is there any reason for that?
Infidelity on his part.
I'm not even going to ask the next question, which is a logical question, but thank you for putting me out of my misery. When did Mr. Scheller start to ask you for the repayment of this money?
Shortly after I had gotten back together with my boyfriend. So.
That's according to you. He gave me this money so that I could get out of an abusive relationship. The money was given to you so you could move out, and then you went back.
There was never an agreement, though, of saying that I had to stay out. It was getting out of the situation. He never said that I had to stay out. He just wanted me to get out of that situation.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Do you work?
No.
What do you do?
Babysit, do side jobs. So I guess technically, I do work in some.
Like what?
Like babysitting. My friend owns
my 13-year-old grandchild babysits. You're 22 years old. What do you do?
I'm starting my at-home business.
What kind of home business?
A marketing business. Basically, it's an
online
store like Overstock.com.
And who supports you now?
Family, boyfriend, ex-boyfriend.
But fortunately, no children. Great. Judgment for the plaintiff. You gave her how much? $2,000?
Correct.
Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I never approached him about asking for the money.
I have not seen a single cent of that money yet.
He was the one that insisted that I take the money from him.
That's what enraged me.
To get out of the situation.
The fact that she wasn't learning.
Get a job.
I hope it would wake her up and sound like maybe it has this time.
Up.
There was a fist fight.
His friend punched one of my friends. That's the whole reason he tried to kick him out.
They couldn't handle their alcohol.
Were you drinking?
Yes.
and couldn't control themselves.
I saw him hit me with a bottle on the right side of my head. I have pictures here. The plaintiff stood up, tackled me into a garage door.
His friends hit me over the head with the bottle and sliced me across the face with the bottle.
I'm not sure who the troublemaker is.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
19-year-old Jason Bonilla is suing 21-year-old Amir Akkad for assaulting him at a party.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 9 on the calendar in the matter of Bonilla versus Akkad.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
How old are you, Mr. Bonilla?
I'm 19 years old, ma'am.
And where do you live?
I live in Pomona, California.
What do you do?
I work at a pizza place and I go to school. I deliver pizza. The reason I'm going to school right now and working is because I had a scholarship for football, but I got hurt, so I'm trying to get back into it.
On what night did you have this altercation that resulted in your...
February 29th.
Of 2011?
2011, yes, ma'am.
Were you drinking? Is not an answer.
It was a 21st birthday party. I took about a sip.
Listen to me. Were you drinking?
Yes.
See how easy that was?
Yes.
At what time had you started drinking?
I got there late. I got there at 11.
Listen to me. I want you to understand that I raised now 5 children past their 19th birthday, and I'm involved with 1 grandchild who is past his 19th birthday. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So on Saturday night, the 29th of January, what time did you and your buddies start to drink?
11:30.
Where?
It was at the birthday party.
Whose birthday party?
It was Marcus' 21st birthday party.
What were you drinking?
I drank a beer. Less than a beer. I had work that night, so.
And then what happened?
Then I was with my girlfriend, hanging out with my girlfriend. She told me that there was chaos outside. I run around.
She told you that what?
That there was something going on outside with my friends. I run outside. Clearly, my friends are outnumbered. Clearly outnumbered, like the whole party was.
How many people did you arrive with?
I went with my girlfriend.
So just how many of your friends were there?
4. 4 of my friends.
And how old were your friends?
They are a year older than me. Some my age.
19 and 20?
Yes, ma'am.
All underage?
Yes, ma'am.
Drinking? Were they at the party first?
Yes.
So they were there before you got there?
Yes, they were.
The girlfriend? Mm-hmm. Up and over. Your name is?
Michelle Alcantara.
Michelle, you saw something going on outside at the party?
I overheard his friend Alex going outside, and they were getting into an argument, and they said they were going to take it outside.
You overheard his friend Alex getting into an argument with whom?
I have no idea who the guy was.
Somebody who?
His friends.
He was getting an argument with me.
So one of your friends was getting into an argument with you?
Correct.
And who are you?
I'm Jason Bourdonnais, the owner of the house.
Jason, you own the house, and why was his friend getting into an argument with you?
His friend punched one of my friends in the face, so I asked him to leave. I escorted him. It happened in the backyard. So I escorted him out to the front yard, asking them to leave.
When you say escorted him, you grabbed him?
No, he was walking with another friend of his, and I walked him out through the side of the back door into the front yard, and and a couple scattered their other friends. This was even before 11 o'clock, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
What time was it?
Probably like 10:45, going on to 11.
Okay. So you had asked a couple of his friends to leave?
Correct.
And you overheard something?
It was not like that.
Tell me what you heard.
It was way more chaotic than that.
When you say it was way more chaotic, tell me.
Not, I escorted him to leave. No. They were being verbally abusive. We're going to fight.
Can I say something as well?
No. I have the owner of the house telling me that he's kicking out of a party 2 guys. Mm-hmm. That's what I got so far. And there's no quarrel with the fact that he was the proprietor, either the renter or the owner of the house. Is that right?
Right.
So he has a right to tell anybody to leave that he wants to. So he was telling your 2 friends to leave.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I don't care how he was saying it. I assume that he was not saying it nicely because I assumed there was some problem.
He just walked in the
So
house.
you went inside, found him, and told him that there was trouble outside?
Yes.
Okay. And what did you do, Mr. Bonilla?
I went outside to go take a look at it.
And what did you find when you went outside?
Someone I had never seen before. It wasn't him. Someone I never seen before. He was verbally, coming at me, disrespecting me, and he continued.
No, tell me. Moment. This person that you don't know and that's not here said what to you?
Do you want me to say the exact words? Yes. He said, "You get the out of here. Take all your friends and leave."
Okay. So somebody else was telling you.
Yes.
And your friends to leave.
Exactly. And that is what I did.
Just a second. Somebody was telling you and your friends to leave.
Yes.
And then what happened?
And then he continued to walk towards me. And this was on the street already. It was not in his property. This was on the street. He continued to walk towards me.
This person who you don't know?
That I don't know. He continued to walk towards me. I tried to back up. I wasn't really trying to fight. And then he got closer to me, so he swung, and I protected myself. That's when I saw...
When you say protected yourself, he swung. He swung. How did you protect yourself?
I hit him.
You hit him?
Yes, ma'am.
So he swung and missed.
Yeah, he missed.
And you hit him?
Yes.
What happened?
1 second.
What happened next, Mr. Bonilla?
On the corner of my right eye, I clearly see Amir sprinting, and I clearly saw him hit me with a bottle on the right side of my head. I have pictures here, and I have the medical bills, whatever you want to see.
I don't want to see anything yet.
Okay.
So you punched this person.
Yes.
You punched him.
She fell back.
Did he fall onto the ground?
Yes.
And so you punched him in the face.
Yes.
He fell to the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
This person who was telling everybody to leave.
He told me specifically.
He told you specifically
Yes.
to leave. And then after you punched this person to the ground, and you don't know who that person was, whether he owned the house or whether he didn't own the house.
He didn't live there. I know that.
He didn't live there.
No.
Then you saw this man come up to you out of the corner of your eye.
Yes.
And hit you with a bottle.
Yes.
And that's why you're here.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's not what happened.
Ball is in your court.
All right. On January 29th, during the birthday party, there was a fight in the backyard with his friend and one of my friends. I witnessed Jason over here, the owner of the house, walked them out through the side of the house, and I saw everybody just following them because...
You mean everybody...
Like everybody in the backyard that was around where the initial fight happened.
There was a fist fight.
Yeah, his friend punched one of my friends. That's the whole reason he tried to kick him out.
Yeah.
And he tried to kick him and all his friends out, everybody that was causing problems. As soon as they got to the street, his friend took his shirt off and turned around and tried to fight my friend Jason right here. And when that happened, my friend that I was walking out with ran out to the middle of the street. And first thing, as soon as he stepped onto the street, the plaintiff over here hit him a couple times. That's where I ran up and I punched him. I did not use a bottle.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Can I show you a picture, man, please? You can tell me that a fist can do this? I'll show you the picture.
I saw him hit him with a bottle.
What were you doing out in the street?
Watching my boyfriend, of course.
Sit.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jason Bonilla says fellow partygoer Amir Akkad hit him over the head with a bottle. Amir claims he punched Jason when he saw him fighting his friend.
Go ahead.
I punched him. The plaintiff stood up, tackled me into a garage door. We were in the corner of the garage door. We were exchanging blows till we got separated, and that's where the fight ended for me. The cops came right after, and I went home. I have no idea what happened with him after that.
Well, his friends initiated the fight because it all started by the time when I walked out the street with his friends, hit me over the head with the bottle and sliced me across the face with the bottle.
Yeah,
that's when the fight broke out. By that time, it was already like 14-on-1.
Throughout the whole time,
he had more than friends
being
than what he
thrown
said.
Left and right. There was multiple bottles being thrown up in the air. He got hit twice with bottles.
Mr. Bonilla.
Yes.
How old was Marcus?
Marcus, it was his 21st birthday. Can I say my side of the story now? Because that's completely false.
Thought you just told me your side of somebody followed you, somebody that you didn't know, came up to you. Let me repeat what you told me.
Yeah, I understand what
Just a second. You understand what you told me. I let you tell your side of the story, then I would let them tell their side of the story. So now I have to decide who I believe.
Can I show you a picture, man, please? You can tell me that a fist can do this? I'll show you the picture.
I saw him hit him with a bottle. I did.
What were you doing out in the street?
Watching my boyfriend, of course.
Sit. No, stand. As a matter of fact, I have another couple of questions for you. Take your hands out of your pockets. Where was your boyfriend when you went inside and told him that there was trouble outside?
We were in the backyard.
What was he doing when you went
Just
over
chilling
to
there.
tell him that there was trouble outside?
Just hanging out there.
He was just there doing nothing.
He was there when the first fight happened.
Just a second.
This was
Just a
before
second.
any
Just
of the
a second.
fights.
So let me understand. There's chaos going on outside.
Yes.
You came with your boyfriend.
Yes.
Why would you want to get him involved in what's going on out front?
Those are his friends, and we were going to tell them to leave.
Now
Let's
sit.
leave.
Your Honor, his defendant that you see right there clearly told my mom and my sister that it was his friend that hit me with the bottle.
Just a second.
That's a lie.
Just one second.
So how do I...
It's
house at the
listen
party,
to
you
me.
just showed
Mr.
up.
Bonilla.
Come on, man.
Mr. Bonilla.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to me carefully, sir. What he says was that you just didn't punch this guy once and he fell back.
I didn't hit him on the ground. I'm clear about that. I did not hit him on the ground. I did not get on top of him and start pounding him.
How many times did you punch him?
I hit him about twice and he fell.
Oh, well, just a second. First
Oh,
it
then
was
he fell.
just a second. First, you punched him once and he fell back. Now, maybe you punched him twice and he fell back.
And after
Which
he fell,
one?
he hit him.
Which one is it, Mr. Bonilla, once or twice?
Twice. I'm going to go with the larger amount.
Then why did you tell me 5 minutes ago that you hit him once?
I didn't know you clearly wanted me to tell you I punched him twice.
What does it have to do with what I want you to tell me? What I want you to tell me is the truth, not when you get crossed. Now I'm going to take a look at your pictures.
Okay.
Well, that doesn't look like a fist to me.
Thank you.
Now, I'll see a hospital record.
Okay. There's that, and there's the...
Had you ever seen the defendant before?
Yeah, we all went to school together.
Did you ever have a problem with him before?
He went to a little gathering at my girlfriend's house, and he disrespected my girlfriend, started calling her names, so we kicked him out. About a year ago. Yes, him.
Him?
Yeah.
I told her to calm down, and she was drunk and started yelling at me. That's when him and his friends came and surrounded me, asked me to leave. Her father, who was my football coach, came out and told me to leave, and I just walked away, just like that.
But did you not say it's her house? She
It's
has
her
the right
house.
to tell him to leave, right?
Just like you did.
I was leaving.
One.
I was leaving till you told me out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the name of your friend, sir, who he assaulted?
Brenton.
Do you know Brenton, Mr. Bonilla?
No, ma'am.
Had you ever seen him before?
Other than when he bumped into my friend randomly for no reason, no.
What do you mean he bumped into your friend randomly for no reason? When was that?
In the backyard. The reason for the
Just
whole
a second.
fight?
Oh, you see, things are becoming crisp for me now, Mr. Bonilla. So this person that you punched to the ground had an altercation with a friend of yours that you witnessed in the backyard.
Yeah, it was him and
Is
some
that
other guy.
people were at the party?
There was a lot.
A lot.
Probably like 100, 150.
So of all those people, the person that, what did he do, bumped into?
It wasn't him. He was with the guy that bumped my friend. He bumped my friend for no reason. I was
Bumped
standing
your
right
friend for no reason.
His friend sucker punched my friend.
Yep.
That was before.
Now sit. You see, what I'm trying to get at, Mr. Bonilla, is sometimes when there's a fight, somebody gets the worst of the bargain. This time, apparently, it was you. Or maybe it was Brenton who you pummeled to the ground. And there had been an altercation that you witnessed before, so there was a reason for you to assault him. There was a reason. And then you got the worst of the bargain by him, who you had trouble with in the past. But I'm not sure who the troublemaker is. You see, I'm just not positive,
Your Honor,
Mr.
please.
Bonilla. I'm not positive who the troublemaker is, because it's clear to me that you assaulted one of his friends and that you were injured during the course of that assault. There's no question about that. I don't believe your girlfriend, by the way. I don't believe your girlfriend that she witnessed you getting hit by a bottle. He may have hit you with a bottle. I'm not sure. Maybe somebody else did. Now, did the police conduct an investigation?
Yeah.
The police conducted an investigation.
Yes.
Did they arrest the defendant?
No. The reason for that is because I didn't say his name, because I didn't want this to get bigger. I understand his friends would probably retaliate against me if I did say his name. I tried to solve it in a helping manner.
Just a second. So that my question is, when the police asked you who injured you, you either had to say, I don't know, or I didn't see, or I don't want to say. Those are the three things. You want to tell me what you told the police?
Yes. They asked me, do you want to talk about this? I said, I don't want to say anything.
No, that's not what police say. You want to talk about this. You say, I don't want to say anything. If the police took a report, they took a report of an assault, and they say, who was your assailant? And you either told them, I don't know his name, I didn't see who did it. Which one was it?
I don't know his name.
You don't know his name?
Yeah.
What?
The plaintiff's mom and sister came to my house threatening me, saying that they will call the police if I don't pay the medical bills. They told me they didn't call the police, and they were trying to extort me by saying that if I didn't pay them, then they were going to go to the police.
Who paid Brenton's medical bills, Mr. Bonilla?
Did he have medical bills?
I don't know. I don't know. Do you know? Punched him a couple of times. He fell. Just a second. No, wasn't self-defense. Your girlfriend came inside to get you. Wasn't self-defense at all. You had seen him with his buddy, allegedly bumping one of your friends in the backyard for no reason. And there were 100 people at this party, Mr. Bonilla. Somebody got the worst of the deal. Maybe it was Brenton. I don't know. But certainly Brenton isn't here being a crybaby. Just you. You don't like the heat? Stay out of the kitchen.
Your Honor, it's just...
You don't like the heat? Stay out of the kitchen. And if you were doing nothing in the backyard and your girlfriend came in the back and said, you better come outside, there's trouble, somebody who doesn't want to get into trouble says, you know what? If there's trouble going on in the front, I don't want to be there. You and I stay back here. Here there's no trouble. If there's trouble in the front, I don't want to be there. But that's not what you did, if I believe her. Which I don't. Which I don't.
Your Honor, I have had headaches since that day.
Listen, that's your problem. Stay out of the kitchen, Mr. Bonilla.
So that makes it right to hit people with bottles?
Just a second. If you are assaulting his friend, and I absolutely believe that you are assaulting his friend, he has the right to get you off.
There's a difference between getting off and hitting someone with a bottle.
I didn't use a bottle.
I got hit in the head with a bottle.
Get into a brawl, you get the worst of the bargain. This time you did. You don't like the heat? Stay out of the kitchen. I have a feeling that you were not an innocent bystander in all of this, Mr. Bonilla. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Yes.
I am wrong that you were an innocent bystander.
Yes, I truly think I was.
You think you were an innocent bystander?
Yes.
You went from the backyard to the front of the house. You assaulted someone, knocked them to the ground, hitting them at least twice, and you're telling me you're an innocent bystander?
So what if it was...
Goodbye, Mr. Bonilla.
Oh, he's very serious. You may step out.
He was under the influence, obviously.
I didn't hit him with the bottle.
He hit me with the bottle.
He should have left when they got kicked out in the beginning.
I didn't make any eye contact with him.
He didn't try to lie so much in his story, he probably wouldn't have got caught up.
I didn't bother him at all.
Like he did by her.
And he just came and hit me with a bottle.
I hope it's all done now. I wanted it to end that night.
Yeah, I'm just gonna walk by.
But they wanted to take it to court. He came, everything happened, it should end here.
Ever spent any time in jail, Mr. Whitaker?
That has no relevance to this situation.
Don't tell me what's relevant and what's not, Mr. Whitaker.
A tense confrontation.
Did you take money from this bird? Did you take money? You're a 19-year-old zero.
I'm not.
Will heat up the courtroom.
Did you take money from this bird?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy. 18-year-old Desiree Bird is suing her ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Trayvon Whitaker, for an unpaid loan to purchase a car.
Order. All rise. Now, it's case number 6 on the calendar in the matter of Bird versus Whitaker.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat.
Mr. Whitaker, what do you do for a living?
I work at Applebee's. I'm a host.
And how long have you worked at Applebee's?
About a month.
Prior to that, what did you do?
I didn't do anything.
How old are you?
I'm 19.
Who do you live with?
I stay with my aunt.
How do you get to Applebee's?
I drive.
In what?
Car.
What kind?
A Regal.
Speak in full sentences. I drive in a car. What kind of car is it?
Buick Regal.
What year Buick Regal is it?
91.
What's your uncle's name?
Mario.
Last name?
I don't know.
You don't know your uncle's last name?
Nah.
Is he your mother's brother or your father's
Nah,
brother?
it's still a street relationship.
He's a street relationship.
Yeah.
You ever spent any time in jail, Mr. Whitaker?
Yes, ma'am.
When was the last time you spent time in jail, Mr. Whitaker?
March through July of last year.
For what?
Possession of stolen property.
What kind of property?
I really don't know. I didn't have really much to do with the case. I just took
I don't
whatever deal they
understand a
gave me.
word you're saying.
That's because you just cut me off.
What kind of stolen property?
Computers or something.
Computer.
Yeah. What does this have to do with this case?
You asking me a question? I don't
Yeah.
answer your questions.
All right.
Now, if you spent some time in jail, that means it wasn't your first experience with the criminal justice system, Mr. Whitaker. So what you thought was going to be a fun experience and a funny experience for you to come here today is going to be far from that. Now, did you take money from Miss Bird? Let's get back to it. Did you take money from Miss Bird?
No.
Do you know what Miss Bird...
At a store in Sacramento.
At a store?
Yeah.
What kind of a store?
Parking lot.
Tell me about the meeting that you had with Miss Bird when you first met her at a parking lot. Go ahead, Mr. Whitaker. Let's chat.
I seen her in the parking lot unloading her groceries. I spoke to her aunt first, and then I spoke to her.
What did you say to them?
I said, can I speak to your daughter?
What were you doing in the parking lot?
Leaving.
In what?
A car.
What kind of car?
It wasn't my car. I was in somebody else's car in the passenger seat that has no relevance to this situation.
Don't tell me what's relevant and what's not, Mr. Whitaker. You think that you're smooth? You're a 19-year-old zero.
I'm not.
Great.
Right on.
Did you take money from Miss Bird?
N-O.
Did you give Mr. Whitaker money?
Yes, Your Honor. I gave Mr. Whitaker a total amount of $7,100 on 4 different occasions. And when I met Mr. Whitaker, it was at a store. He was driving the car, so I assumed it was his car. And he had told me that he lived in Sacramento. I later found out...
What do you do?
I am a cash control clerk.
Well, you just got hired at a local water park.
That was my first job, Your Honor.
How old are you?
I'm 18, Your Honor.
And where did you get all this money from?
On May 30th of 2009, me and a friend of mine were hit by a car. We were on a bike and we got hit by a car. We settled the case for $23,000. And after my attorney's got attorney's services and all the other costs, I was awarded $16,313.80. And I did not physically get the check until December 3rd of last year.
How did the charming Mr. Whitaker know about this money?
He did not know about the money until the day I was going to go to sign the check. And he was at my aunt's house, Miss Ricardo, and I told him that I had to leave, and he had to leave too, so I could go to the lawyer.
What kind of car was he driving?
He did not drive to come see me that day. He took the Greyhound, and my aunt picked him up from the bus station and dropped him off at the bus station.
You must have liked her, Mr. Whitaker, if you came by bus to her house.
Yep, naturally.
You must have liked her.
Yes, ma'am.
And you must have made arrangements for him to come there by Greyhound. That he arrived to pick up this check.
Because I had already made an appointment with my lawyer.
Why didn't you tell Mr. Whitaker, don't come down that day? I made an appointment with my lawyer.
I'm not sure.
Now, I didn't say to you, you have an appointment with a lawyer? What do you have an appointment with a lawyer for?
He did.
And what did you tell him?
That I had gotten hit by a car and I was going to get my check for my settlement.
And that was the first time he knew about it?
Yes, ma'am.
How long had you been going out at that time?
I'd say about 3 months.
And how far away did you live from each other?
I'd say about 80 miles.
Now, show me where you deposited your check into your bank account.
I didn't actually deposit that much money in a bank account.
What'd you do with it?
I had split it up into a savings account.
That's okay. Show me. I want to see deposits on December 2nd, 2010, within a couple of days from that, because then you say that he came and took money from you that you drew out at $2,000 intervals. I just want to see where you deposited $16,313. Prince Charming over here.
Okay. He had asked me for the money on the 3rd. I told him that the check had to wait to clear, so I called him when the check did clear, which was on December 10th. December 10th is when he came down here on a Greyhound, and he stayed for the 10th and the 11th. Those 2 days, I gave him $2,000 on each day because the bank would only allow me to take so much out.
What did he want the money for?
He said he wanted the money so he could buy a car, and he was also going to get me a car from his uncle.
His uncle? You mean his street uncle?
Yeah, his street uncle.
Street uncle, right? Is that what you told me earlier? Mr. Whitaker, is that what you told me before?
You got it on tape,
The street uncle, the same one that you bought the 1991 Buick from. Am I keeping you awake, sir?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
And he says, I asked him, he said no, N-A-W. Which actually, you know, if you wrote no, it would have been less letters.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Desiree owes for a loan to purchase a car. Trevon claims he never received any money from Desiree.
Now, you say that you gave him a total of $7,000.
Yes.
And he was supposed to buy you a car as well as buy a car for him?
Yes.
Now, I didn't hear anything about a loan.
Well, he asked me for the money, and he said he would pay me back.
What was he supposed to?
Every paycheck.
He wasn't working.
He lied. He had a job at his uncle's restaurant.
What was he doing for his uncle?
He was taking orders.
Okay. Now, he was supposed to buy you a car.
Yes.
What kind of car was he supposed to buy you?
He sent me a picture of the car.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Do you have it?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
I want it. Do you think he would hold it for me? Is that what you wrote him?
Yes.
Well, I see he... It doesn't work anymore.
I could change the settings so it won't go blank. Sorry.
Rotary phone with a digital.
You go right here.
I'm just curious, who picks the names?
Like what, his contact name?
Yes.
Oh, I did that out of anger, Your Honor.
So you wrote this name?
Yes, I wrote that as his name.
Well, why did you do it out of anger? You say, me, I want it. You don't think he would hold it for me? And he answered this name that you gave him. And he says, I asked him, he said no, N-A-W. Which actually, you know, if you wrote no, it would have been less letters. Do you understand? And English. Okay. Now, why do you think, Mr. Whitaker, because it's really a relatively simple issue, Miss Bird says that she gave you money. Some of the money was for a hold on a car. I still didn't see the picture of the car, Bird. I don't know how to get that picture.
Let's bring up the car again.
Yes, sir.
A car for you and a car for her. Nice young lady. So the issue is, you say you didn't get any money from Miss Bird. which means that she would have to be really psychotic, which means that she took, on 3 different days, which she has memorialized from her bank records, $6,000 out of her bank. So either you're lying or she's lying.
I don't really matter. Just show me my signature where I said, you feel me, I received money, and show me my signature where I said I was going to give it back on no loan or anything.
No. I'm not saying whether it was a loan, Mr. Whitaker.
No, I'm saying give me...
There's no paper. Listen to me. There's no paper.
Then what else we got?
That's not the issue. The issue isn't whether it was a loan or a gift.
Hey, I'm not talking about that issue. I'm talking about first where I received it. Show me
But
that.
that's all I'm saying. So either she's lying that she gave you the money, handed it over to you, whether it was a loan or a gift, which is something entirely different, whether it was a loan or a gift. But you're saying she never handed you any money, correct?
Yes.
So could you explain to me what you believe her motivation for saying she gave you, somebody who has a marginal job, very little income? I mean, she could say she gave money to Petrie Hawkins Bird. He makes a good living, right? Why would she pick somebody who makes no living to say, I turned over money to them?
You said why?
Why?
Why are you going to ask me what's she going to do?
No, I'm asking you, what would be her motive? If she was going to pick on somebody, let her pick on somebody who has money. She picks on you, you have nothing.
I don't know.
So you think she must be crazy, right?
Maybe.
You think she's crazy?
Maybe. All I know is I ain't signed nothing, and I don't got it.
You don't what?
I didn't sign nothing. I don't know nothing.
No, I didn't ask you if you signed anything. I know you don't know anything. I didn't ask you if you signed anything. You don't have to sign anything. That's how I make my living. If people signed things, I wouldn't have a job. Then it would be easy. I would say, you signed this, you owe the money.
All right, let me ask you this then.
You don't have to sign anything.
She just said that she texted me saying that my uncle had a car for her, right? And I was supposed to get the car for her. If you check the date on what she talking about, it's supposedly the date that she was supposed to give me the money, it was way after that. So if I was supposed to go get her the car, why didn't I just go grab the car right there? Why would she say, would he hold it for me? Am I right?
Just a second. Mr. Whitaker, your question actually is a very valid one. And I'm going to ask her that complaint. And your complaint says that you gave him money on December's 10, 11, and 13.
And the 1st of January. No, and the 3rd of January.
Just a second. But I want you to read the date of the email that I just read when you said to him, won't he hold it for me?
Okay.
Which is a very good question, Mr. Whitaker. Why would he have to hold it if you had already given the money for it, right? That's really your question. Why are you looking over there? I'm agreeing with you. You should look happier.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Your Honor, before I gave him the money,
look at the email and give me the date of the email that you are asking the question, won't your uncle hold the car for me? I just read it, somewhere around December 27th.
December 19th.
December 19th, which was after you had already given him the money.
Exactly.
Well, then why would you ask that question, Miss Bird? Won't he hold the car for me?
Because I was out of town, Your Honor. I was in L.A. visiting my mom for Christmas. I had left Sacramento on the 17th of December. I did not get back to Sacramento until the 2nd of January.
But he had the money already. Why wouldn't he just give him the money and say it? The money already. Go ahead.
I don't know if she showed you or not. Another text message where she's saying she only got this amount of money in her bank and she talking about buying the car herself. And she's like, well, I have $1,500 right now, but it's down here and I can't get to it. You feel me? So she didn't show you that, though.
There is no text.
She was talking about buying the car herself with her money the whole time. So that's all irrelevant information what she's showing you right now, too.
Your Honor.
So she just caught herself up.
Mr. Whitaker, if you would try to speak clearly so I could understand you.
All right.
Because I have a feeling that you're saying something to me that may be valid.
The point I just proved when she's saying she gave me the money on this date, but then she's saying, will he hold the car for me? But I'm supposed to already have the money. But then this other text message is in there saying, because I remember the whole conversation with her saying, I only have this amount of money in my bank right now, and I'll try to get it. Will he hold it for me till I get back? But she didn't show you them text messages, though. She cut that off. You feel me? But it's all good. I'm not tripping. That's off the record. You feel me? But
No,
she
it's
just
not.
caught herself
We're not
up, though.
tripping. We're not tripping.
Your Honor, I have pictures of him holding the money. He posted it on Facebook, and he posted a post on Facebook the same day I withdrew the money. And you can see that's my finger in the picture. I took this picture.
But I thought I wasn't driving. I was on Greyhound, remember?
No, that was
No,
the
no, no.
13th. This is the 13th when you drove out there.
You know how many pictures I can show you with me holding stacks?
Hey.
What?
What? Talk to her. You don't talk to her. Do you understand?
I respect that.
Okay, do that.
Would you show those pictures to him, please, Officer Bird?
I put the pictures up there. I don't need to see.
Hmm?
Oh, yeah. Right on. I mean, I could show you plenty of pictures of me holding money. That's not the problem. Plenty of me in the pictures with other people holding money. That don't prove nothing.
On December 13th, did you post this?
Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
You want to read it out loud?
On the toilet count stacks, God, I'm blessed. Now, Desiree Bird just gave me $2,000. Look at me. You feel me?
Well, so how much did she give you, sir? Did she give you $2,000 or $6,000? Did you get $2,000?
That's undisclosed. I didn't
Excuse
get
me?
it from her.
No. Did you make it at Applebee's?
I made it everywhere.
Excuse me?
Everywhere. From different stuff. I saved my money.
Just curious. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
You know, women be mad when you stop leaving number one.
He just hung up on me and never called me after that.
I ain't got no hard feelings against her.
Stupid and dumb.
But it's the best for her, you feel me?
18, I'll never do it again.
Man, it ain't no relation.
And I've learned a lot from my mistakes.
She go her way, I go mine.
I hope we can go our separate ways.
Ain't no bad feeling.
And he can still keep his job at Applebee's.
Going crazy, jumping all over me, trying to bite me.
A terrifying attack.
I had to dive head first into my sunroof.
The dog is a family dog.
He's not vicious.
Unleashes a family's lies.
He wasn't actually attacking her.
Your son said, I saw him attacking her.
But the judge commands the truth.
She jumped on her own car.
Are you being serious with me?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
24-year-old Talisha Doss is suing her aunt and uncle, Connie and Walter Trouser, for the cost to fix her car. Talisha says she was forced to jump on the hood in order to escape their son's unleashed pit bull.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 553 on the calendar in the matter of Doss versus Trouser.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Miss Doss, would you take that off the bench, please? Put him on the floor. Miss Doss, this is your aunt and uncle?
Yes.
And your complaint alleges that they allowed their dog to be off-leash and in a situation that frightened you, which caused you to jump up on the hood of your car to escape the dog, causing damage to your car. You want them to be responsible for the damage to your car.
Yes.
Their defense is sort of that you overreacted to the puppy. Okay. Now, what kind of puppy do you have?
A pit bull.
And how old is the puppy?
About a year.
That's not a puppy anymore.
Or older.
And is it a boy or a girl?
Boy.
How much does he weigh?
About 40 pounds.
And you were going over to your aunt and uncle's house because it was your birthday?
It was.
So tell me what happened when you got there.
I would like to say, first of all, the dog is vicious.
Listen to me. Tell me what happened when you got there.
I went over there, parked, got out the car, and went into my auntie house, which was the side door. I went in there, my aunt was not home, but my uncle and my little cousin, which is the witness over there, was there. And I was talking to my uncle, we left, we was happy to see each other. After me being over there maybe 10 minutes, my uncle asked me to let his son out the driveway because I was parked behind their vehicle. So when I went out there, I was just walking past their car to get to my car to let them out. And as I was passing the car, and the dog just jumped out of the car and got the...
How did it jump out of the car? Through?
He had the windows down.
Stand. Over. Move over. What's your first name?
Walter.
Walter. When did you get this dog?
A couple weeks before she came.
And who did you get it from?
My sister.
Did you pick the dog up from your sister's house?
Yes.
How did I know these things? It's like Walter, how do you think I knew that you picked the dog up at your sister's house? How do you think I knew that? You think I have cameras? You think I have some sort of a globe that I can look in? You know how I know that you picked the dog up from someplace? Now, what was the dog doing out in your car?
I was putting him in the car to ride with me to grab my little cousin from the movies.
How long had your sister had the dog?
A couple months.
And where did your sister get the dog from?
Her baby father.
And how long had he had the dog before he gave it to your sister?
At birth. And he gave it to her.
So he got the dog from birth. And then he gave it to your sister. Your sister had it for a couple of months and said, I can't handle it anymore, you take it. So you took it.
Yes.
And then without a leash, you put the dog in the car and left the windows open.
Yes.
Is anything that I said wrong?
No.
Sit. So, Mr. Trouser, when he brought this 8-month-old pit bull over to you, did you know he was bringing it?
Yes.
So you must have had a discussion with your daughter.
Yes.
And she had had the dog for 2-3 months, according to him, right?
Correct.
Why was she getting rid of the dog?
She just hit a baby.
And?
And she wasn't there to take care of the dog.
Well, who takes care of the baby?
We do.
We do.
Well, then she brings over the baby and the dog.
No, she brings over the baby. We went and got the dog.
Did she have the dog first or the baby first?
Right. She had the dog when she was pregnant.
Genius.
Yes.
All right, I would like to see what kind of damage you did to this car from jumping up on the roof. Now, what'd the dog do when it jumped out of the window?
Got the jumping all over me, got the nibbling, like trying to bite me. He was going crazy. At some point, he latched on my feet, like at the bottom of my heel, and I just kind of, was trying to run and scoot, because my car was literally right behind his car. So that was the nearest thing I could, grab from this dog to get off of me once he latched into my shoe. As he snatched my shoe off, I jumped on the hood of my car. He proceeded to jump on my car, jump off, slide off the car. I was just lucky enough that I had my sunroof open in my car, and I had to dive head first into my sunroof. At that point, the dog was jumping on and off the car, running around my car, trying to get me. He didn't have on a collar nor a leash. So they couldn't get the dog. It's hard to get a dog. Like 5 minutes. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure his son ran and got something, maybe a rope or something.
What did you do?
I grabbed the dog. I grabbed the dog.
How did you grab the dog?
With my hand.
How? Around?
She headed to the hood of her car. As I was getting out the car, she had dropped her phone. I noticed that the dog was attacking her. So by the time she made it to her car, I was trying to kicking the dog away from her as he was still trying to play with her, because he really is a family dog. But as you know, as he sees her jumping around and moving, so he just see reactions. And I just grabbed him, took him in the house and locked him up.
Where'd you lock him?
In his cage.
How long does he stay in his crate?
Just over the night.
Don't you have a leash and collar for him?
Yes.
Why wasn't he wearing it?
He did have a leash.
Why wasn't he wearing it?
He was.
So that would have been easy for you to grab him by the leash.
Yes.
But you didn't grab him by a leash.
No, he didn't have a chain. He had a leash on.
Collar.
Collar.
Talking about his collar. He had his
Collar is
on.
different from a leash.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sit.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What do you do for a living?
I work at a group home.
Stay there. Don't go to law school, because you're not getting it. You're stubborn support for a child who is emancipated.
But they are letting him do that, and I give it to Isaiah.
I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that
I
for
swear under oath. I give Isaiah every dime.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Talisha Doss says her aunt and uncle, Connie and Walter Trouser, owe for damage to the hood of her car. Talisha says she was chased by their son's pit bull and had no choice but to jump on the vehicle.
You have anything else you want to say to me?
You gotta understand, my house is like what everyone come to, all the kids and everything else. And we had the dog there, and the dog is used to the environment. The dog is a family dog.
He's not vicious.
He jumped out of the window of a car.
Probably just it was a nice day, and he probably just jumped out the window. He wasn't actually attacking her.
That's
he
what
just
he
jumped
said.
out the car.
Is your son lying to me?
She didn't think that dog.
No, listen
times.
to me. Is your son lying to me?
What do you mean? Is he lying to you about what?
He said the dog was attacking her.
He was just going after her.
No.
I asked her specifically.
No, listen to me. I just asked you a question. Your son just said to me he was attacking her. I saw him attacking her.
No,
that's what he
was
said.
not attacking her. He was playing with you.
I'm just asking you. That's what he said he saw. Now, you weren't home, right?
No.
That's what your son said. We can play back the tape for you. Your son said, I saw him attacking her.
But the point was not that he wasn't coming after her. No. She jumped on her own car.
Listen to me.
Buck never jumped on her car. I asked her specifically,
no, listen
did she do
to
that?
me. He didn't have to jump. Okay. Miss Chaz, are you being serious with me?
I'm being very
Are you being serious with me? Well, you're being very foolish. I'm not going to allow you to continue because you're just being very foolish. A, you weren't there. B, listen to me carefully. Listen, you may get away with talking at home over somebody. You don't get away with talking over me.
Well,
if your dog put a stranger, and she's a stranger because she's not the owner of the dog, you're the homeowner, and you allowed the dog in your house, let's say instead of injuring her car, look at me, pay attention, don't look up in the air, annoyed. Let's say instead of damaging her car, when she jumped up on the car to escape the dog, who your son says, because he was there, was attacking her, and let's say she broke her arm in addition to damaging her car, you would, and her pain and suffering because you allowed the dog to be unleashed and it's your dog. Now, she may have, put your hand down and listen, you're going to learn something. She may, let us assume, have overreacted to the extent of the danger from your dog. It's still your fault. That's why you are not permitted to allow a dog to be free without a leash unless it's in a designated area. Like in a dog
property.
Listen to me. It's not on your property if you invite guests to your home.
I didn't invite her.
Oh my God, listen to me. What do you do for a living?
I work at a group home.
Yeah, stay there. Don't go to law school because you're not getting it. You're stubborn-headed. And if you have a dog in your house that has displayed any sort of propensity for either being vicious or apparently so, because according to the son over here, who now looks mildly bored, the dog was attacking her, which is why he grabbed it. Anybody that is now injured in or around your home because of this dog, it's going to be... Do you have homeowners insurance?
Yes.
You're going to have to use it. And you don't want to be in that position. I'm just giving you fair warning. Judgment for the plaintiff for the damage to the car in the amount of $546. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused when they step out.
You know, I love my auntie dearly.
I just think she's being greedy.
We all was close.
And selfish.
She left in my face.
She wanted somebody and I told her I'm not giving her a quarter.
And it kind of got to me that she didn't even care.
She jumped on her own car.
I could have got bit instead of a scratch on the car.
No, it separated the family.
I don't know. Hopefully, time will heal.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Myers versus Claire. Step forward, please.
Carmelita Myers is suing her ex-husband, Frank Clare III, for his share of their daughter's volleyball fees.
Ms. Myers, is this your daughter? You sure you want her in here?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Why?
She's a witness.
Okay. Mr. Clare, how many children do you and Miss Myers have?
2, Judge.
This young
Judge,
lady-
I'm a little uncomfortable with my daughter in here.
I think you may be right, and I may put her outside.
Thank you.
So just answer a few questions for me, please. Now, you have 2 children, this young lady who's 16. Now, you are currently under a child support order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You pay child support for both children?
Yes, I do.
And what is the child support order?
$259 bi-weekly
And you've been paying that for how long, sir?
since birth. But they wasn't receiving it until it got cut off because I was unemployed. Then she had it reinstated. I don't know exactly how long it's been reinstated because it seemed like I've been paying all my life.
Okay. Now, your first name is?
Nikita.
Okay. If I need you, I'll call you. You can go outside. Thank you. Okay. So what the case is about, Miss Myers, it is your claim that Mr. Clare owes you money for volleyball fees for your daughter so that she could be on the volleyball team in school, which you believe, which is all speculative, will enhance her ability to get a scholarship to college. And you claim that Mr. Clare made an agreement that he would pay for half of those fees. Now, is it correct, Miss Myers, that Mr. Clare is currently paying his child support?
Yes, ma'am. They take it out of his check.
And that order is for 2 children?
Yes, ma'am.
What does your 20-year-old do?
And he's a security officer, and he's also going to school to be a barber.
What was he doing until recently?
He was working at McDonald's as a manager.
Was he living at home?
He hasn't lived at home in 3 years. He's married.
So this order of $259 biweekly is just for your daughter?
No, ma'am. The child support order was just put in for 2007. Before that, he never paid any child support. So he continued to pay Isaiah because of money that he never gave him before 2007. And he wasn't giving it to him then until I put the order in.
Just a second. Miss Myers, you can't collect child support for a child who is emancipated.
But they are letting him do that, and Mr. Clare is agreeing because prior to 2007, he never gave Isaiah anything.
I'm not agreeing.
Just a second. Has nothing to do with that. If he were to give Isaiah money, because he wants to do that, if he wants to make a gift to his child, that's one thing.
Well, I give it to Isaiah.
Just a second. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe that.
I swear under oath. I give Isaiah every dime.
Fine. Then what you have to do is you have to go to family court and you have to say, I want to stop the child support order for 2 children because one of my children has been emancipated for 3 years, and if his father wants to give him money, he can give him the money.
I mean, that's fine. He's the one that agreed.
I did not agree.
I know.
Doing.
You show me where the court directed that you give the money to your son Isaiah, and that's what you've been doing. Show me where the court says that this is an order for 2 children. Let me see. I never saw an order like that in my life.
Wait, stand over there.
Please point to someplace where you told the court that you were going to give this money to your son Isaiah. Show me.
Well, first of all, Your Honor, because he lives out of the house doesn't mean he doesn't need help.
Miss Myers, just show me. You said that that was in an order. And I said to you, show me where it says in the order that you told the court that you were going to give the money to your son. Show me.
It's his name right here, so it's supposed to go to him. Well, that's what I gave it to him because, and I give Nikita her money.
And I suggest if a 20-year-old is old enough to get married and make a family for himself.
Does he have a family?
Yes, he does. He has a wife. That's a family.
Okay. But he's only been married like 8 months.
Then I suggest you take $259 a month and put it towards your daughter's volleyball.
But why do I have to put it towards her volleyball? She has other fees that needs to be paid.
Miss Myers, if you believe that you are entitled to increased support for your daughter, go back to court.
I did.
And what did they say? They have to deal with it. Your case is dismissed, that's all.
What has that got to do with the volleyball?
Very easy. If you believe that volleyball is necessary for your 16-year-old daughter, then the court will entertain that application. The court, not this court. The support court.
This has nothing to do with supporting her. This is her volleyball.
Oh, yes, it does. You say it does not. but her school, her fees, her medical, her dental, her clothes, her after-school activities,
Cannot be
all
paid with
for...
$249,
Goodbye, Miss
Your
Myers.
Honor.
You get one bite of the apple. When are you going back to family court for your modification case?
I'm waiting on an answer. I don't know.
When did you file it?
I filed it 2 months ago, and I haven't heard anything.
I'm sure you'll be hearing from them soon.
I
Yeah.
filed on the 16th.
16th.
To have him taken off.
Great. And then, sir, you'll have some extra money, and then if you want to help out with the volleyball,
But he
you
said he
can
was
give
gonna
it
pay half, Your Honor.
directly to your daughter for her volleyball fees. Do you understand?
I understand, Judge.
So if you filed for a modification, because that's why she's here, to have the child support cut, and if you are successful, and you might be, I suggest that as a good father, volleyball fees.
I will.
Do you understand?
But what about the
Goodbye.
last 2 years, Your Honor?
Pardon your excuse, you may step out. I'm paying you child support.
We're half parents.
Use that money.
He's half responsible for everything that she does.
You're getting an extra $280-something a month.
Yes, sir. He knew. He wrote a check. It bounced.
Off me, the volleyball bill a month is $300. You can't make up the little change?
Going to appeal this. This is not over.
I thought it'd go away, but as you can see, it's not going to go away.
A daughter's cash held for safekeeping.
You were in an accident years ago, and you got a settlement. You want the money.
But Mom won't relinquish any control.
You're not turning over the money to her because you don't approve of her choices?
Yes. It's really hard to finance somebody who hits my daughter.
The only person who's laid hands on me has been my mother when I first got kicked out of the house.
Okay. Ball is in your court now.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
20-year-old Brittany Kuna-Wongs is suing her mother, Krista Kuna-Wongs, claims is rightfully hers.
Order. All rise.
Now, it's case number 575 on the calendar in the matter of Kuna-Wongs versus Kuna-Wongs.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Tell me your first name.
Brittany.
Brittany, this is your mom.
Yes.
And I think it's unfortunate that you had to get to this point over this issue, which is probably a relatively simple one. You were in an accident years ago, and you got a settlement. Your parents put the settlement in a bank for you. You turned 18. You want the money.
Correct, Your Honor.
And you asked for the money when you were how old?
I asked for the money numerous times. The first time was a couple days before my 18th birthday. My mother said that she couldn't access the funds at the time, and since she said she couldn't, I left it at that. After being kicked out of my house in July of 2008, I knew that the account was going to be up of November 21st, 2008. I then gave my mother a phone call, and she wouldn't talk to me, so I got on the phone with my dad, and I asked him and told him the situation, that I needed that money to go back to school, and because they had kicked me out with nothing, I had no clothes, nothing.
Okay, that was over a boyfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, that was 2008. We're now in 2011. What happened between 2008 and 2011?
After I had talked to them and found out later on that I could actually take her to small claims court, and that's when I had done that.
Okay. How much money is now, according to your records, in that account?
The account has been closed, so I have no idea where the account is.
What was your settlement?
$3,624.44.
Okay. You explain to me now why your daughter is not entitled to the settlement money.
My daughter had a full scholarship to college. She was being financially supported by us after she graduated high school. We were holding the money until she turned 25, as with the other settlements for the other children, because she was being financially supported.
Just a second. Where did it say that you were allowed to hold this money until she was 25?
That was something that we had just discussed, because we didn't want her to use this amount of money just to go on a shopping spree. We wanted her to use this amount of money for something that she needed, something important. And then she started seeing this boyfriend who is much older than her, and she started sneaking out of the house.
Just a second. Is what you're telling me that you're not turning over the money to her because you don't approve of her choices?
In a sense, yes.
Well, you can't do that. This is a legal situation. It's not an emotional situation. This is her money.
I understand that. It's really hard to finance somebody who hits my daughter.
Don't interrupt your mother. What I'm telling you is this is a legal issue. It's not an emotional issue.
I understand. Our reason at the time was because we couldn't
approve
see
of her
ourselves
choice.
doing that. She's been in urgent care. We've gone to their apartment because she called that he hit her. She changes her story. She's moved back home twice. And she never asked for the money except for November of 2008 because she was aware of our intentions. We did financially support her. She didn't need this money to pay for prom. We're financially set to fund her school funds.
What I'm telling you is it's a legal issue.
I understand it's a legal issue, but it's, you know, my daughter hasn't been safe, you know. I haven't seen her in a year. I haven't been this close to her in a year. And I'm this far from a man who lays hands on her.
Just a second. Listen to me.
I understand.
Listen to me. The money isn't going to make any difference.
I understand.
I just want you to understand that. If she's going to make the wrong choice, and that's not for me to determine, this is a court, I deal with legal issues. If she's going to make poor choices, $3,624 is not going to help her make better choices. Somehow, if you haven't seen her in, like she's been eating, takes care of her hair, takes care of her clothes, takes care of herself, and you can't do that on $3,600 a year.
Yes, I understand.
So somehow she's been taking care of herself and doing whatever she has to do to get by and get along. Legally, this is her money, so you have to turn the money over to her. And sometimes children make choices that are inconsistent with the choices we would make.
Yes.
All you have to do is maintain a loving home and an open door so that they know that they make a bad choice, they have the ability to come home.
Absolutely.
Your parents don't sound like they're bad people.
No, they're not, Your Honor.
Is this the boyfriend?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Does he work?
Yes, he does.
Does he support the family? Does he support you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what are you doing?
I just finished school yesterday, so I will be a medical assistant at a family planning clinic in Glendale.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All I can tell you is your mom says that this young man had at one time, at least in your relationship, not been a good mate. Maybe that's resolved itself. I certainly hope so.
Yeah, it is, Your Honor.
Because he understands as he's looking at me that you don't have the right to put your hands on.
Oh, Your Honor, can I clarify that? Because he hasn't laid hands on me for the past 2.5 years, has been my mother. When I first got kicked out of the house, there was a physical altercation. Like any young relationship, there is problems. We do argue, but, you know, at the end of the day, we both love each other, and he's been there for me when no one else has. And he's supported me and encouraged me to go back to school and stuff.
Well, that's great. And if it works out, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
But you can have lots of boyfriends and you can have lots of husbands.
Yes,
you only
I
have
know
one
that.
set of parents.
I understand.
Got it?
Yes.
Okay. So
And
now
Your
you're
Honor,
here.
too, is that she has young siblings. One was just in the hospital, very, very sick. He was very close to her. We've never told her, don't call us, don't visit, ever, ever. My phone call that I got from her a year ago was, you don't need to worry about me anymore. I'm 20 and I'm done. And he could die. He could die. And she...
Your Honor, she
we
has
don't
a way
even know.
of getting a hold of me. If she wanted to reach out, she could reach out as well.
It doesn't do any good. Listen to me.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
That's what I do.
What do you do?
I'm me. You know, that's why. I'm me.
That's what we're
Straight up.
creating.
Him.
That's what we're creating.
Yeah.
A him.
A him.
Brittany Kunawongs says her mother, Krista Kunawongs, won't hand over an insurance settlement that he's holding the money because she doesn't approve of Brittany's boyfriend.
After a while, the recriminations don't serve anybody. She could have, she should have. You're here in the same space. You're here in the same quarters. You haven't seen each other for a year, it would seem to me. You know, life is short. If you end up with this young man, and it sounds to me as if you've done fine, you went to school, you graduated, which is all wonderful. I'm sure that you feel badly that you find out that one of your siblings was ill, that you didn't know about it. You think that your mother should have called and let you know about it. She may have been stubborn. You may have been stubborn. You know, life is short. Get over it. Get over it. Okay, that's all. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $36.24.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
My mom was a very controlling person.
It's not about control.
She doesn't like my boyfriend.
I guess the only part of control is that
There's never been a reason for her not to like him.
I'd like to control her away from an abusive relationship.
And she just, like I said, couldn't let go of that control.
My hope is that Judge Judy would say something.
I hope that someday me and my mom can resolve our issues
that would penetrate her heart.
Because like I said, I really have a really close relationship with my, been able to see them or speak to them because of the situation with my mom.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Reed versus Brooks. Step forward.
Tanisha Reed is suing her former live-in boyfriend, 22-year-old Dwayne Brooks Jr., for rent and late fees and for the return of personal belongings.
Miss Reed, you and Mr. Brooks met last summer, and shortly thereafter, according to your complaint, you and Mr. Brooks decided to rent an apartment together. So far, Mr. Brooks, is that correct?
For the most part, yes.
What's wrong with what I said?
I mean, it was pretty much her idea to get to the apartment, you know.
Well, you do have your own ideas, right?
Right.
You have free will.
I just was going along with...
You're going along with it.
You know,
so you decided to rent an apartment together. You went along with the idea.
Right.
And you moved into this new apartment when?
Like September the 15th.
And did you sign the lease?
I did.
And when you signed the lease, were you obligated to pay any rent?
No.
So the landlord was giving you the apartment for free?
I wasn't supposed to pay no rent. It was just supposed to be on Miss Reed, you know.
Okay.
That's what
so
agreed
she was
upon.
supposed to pay the rent, and you were supposed to live there?
Right.
Do you know how much the rent was?
The rent was like $700 a month.
And what?
Store or something like that at the mall.
Is that right, Miss Reed?
Not at the time of us moving in, no. But I shortly found a job after we moved in November. I started working.
Well, what were you doing before that?
Nothing. I was a full-time student. I didn't have a job.
How did you pay the rent?
I had money left over from an accident that he got into in my car for the settlement of my car value.
And how much did you get from the settlement from the car?
A little over $2,000.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Brooks?
I don't work.
Well, why not?
I'm a full-time student. I go to school.
You do? Great. Where do you go to school?
McNally Smith College of Music in Minnesota.
How long have you gone to school there?
3 years.
How old are you?
22.
How much aid do you get for going to the school?
I mean, I get loans and grants to pay for school, but that's about it.
Well, what do you get to live on?
I only get like maybe $1,000 every semester for living expense. The rest of it's for school. I pay like 22 grand a year to go to school.
And who do you live with?
I got my own apartment.
How do you pay the rent?
I get a stipend from the county to pay my rent.
I'd like you to tell me about that stipend.
I mean, I get like $400.
Do you need a tissue?
No, I get like $437 a month to pay my rent. You know what I'm saying? From the county, you know.
$437.
The Ramsey County aid office. That's where I live in St. Paul. You know, they got an aid office when you can't find no job and you're a student. They give you money to live on, you know what I'm saying? If you already got your own apartment, you know what I'm saying? They give you money to live on a month just because you're a student.
Well, if you were getting money, why didn't you give Miss Reed any money for rent?
Because our agreement was that I didn't have to pay any rent.
What I'm asking you is if it's for you free money, which is what it is, free money for you.
I mean, simply because
what you would do.
I wouldn't want to pay her.
No, just pay attention to what I'm saying.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I was just chilling with her, going to the crib and handling my business and getting gone. You know what I'm saying? Hey.
Come on. God, $70,000 right down the sewer.
Tanisha Reed says former live-in boyfriend Dwayne Brooks Jr. owes for rent, late fees, and the return of her belongings.
So if the county was giving you free money and it was for rent, why weren't you giving that money towards your own rent when you were living with Miss Reed?
Because she said she was going to cover it. That's why.
So what did you do with the money that you were getting?
Spent it
Or I figured we were going.
Right, yeah.
So you lied to them and said it was for rent.
No.
No, I want you to follow this student, third-year college student. Listen to me. If the county is giving you money for rent and you're not using that money for rent, but using it for yourself, then you're stealing that money. You're already getting $22,000 for tuition.
I'm not stealing anything because I'm unemployed, you know what I'm saying? That's the reason that they pay you, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't stealing nothing. I don't got to give her nothing.
Got it?
I could live in a hotel with that money.
I get it.
I can go rent a hotel with the money that they give me for living expense. I was living with her because we were in a relationship.
Mr.
You know
Brooks, I
it.
want you to try to follow this concept, sir. Byrd and I, as taxpayers, have said to young people like you, if you are in school, we will help you. We will help you with loans and aid and grants so that you can finish school and stand up and become a productive citizen. That's what Byrd and I have done as taxpayers. In addition to paying $22,000 for you to become a functional musician, what we have also said is, and we're going to go to school full time because we're not giving you this $22,000 a year for you to sit back and play your guitar. If you don't have a job to help you pay rent, we're also going to give you $450 towards rent so that you can live. It's supposed to go towards your rent. It's not supposed to go for eating out and car or insurance. It's supposed to go, this money is targeted for rent.
Right.
Do you understand? So when you're living with Miss Reed and sign a lease,
my conversation is rent, you know what I'm saying? Just her being around me is me paying rent, you know what I'm saying? I don't gotta give her no cash, you know what I'm saying? That's what she was there for. I'm 21 messing with her. She's 30, you know what I'm saying? That's what she's there for.
We're not talking about her. We're talking, listen to me. Hey, we're talking about Byrd and me. We're talking about us supporting you. Just a minute, I don't want to talk to you. Okay. I don't want to live with you. I don't want to look at you. I don't want to have dinner with you. I don't want to have a breakfast with you.
Listen to me. That's why I didn't pay her rent. Ain't that why we're here?
Listen to me. You're not paying attention to me. I don't even want to pay your rent. The government says I have to pay your rent. Even Officer Byrd doesn't want to pay your rent. I don't want the money that we send to you for rent to go for anything else other than rent. That's what it's earmarked for, because you also said you get grant money and $1,000 a month, another stipend.
And
so
all
you
the
get
other
other money.
Chicks want to
Do
pay
you
cash
understand?
Too, you know, that's what I do.
What do you do?
I'm me. You know, that's why. I'm me. That's the only reason.
That's what we're creating.
Him.
That's what we're creating.
Yeah.
A him.
A him. A him. You know, that's how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, you know, I mean, I'm not finna sit here and beat the bush, you know. I don't owe her nothing.
Sending this tape to Congress.
Handle that. Handle it. Straight up. Handle it.
Judge Judy continues. And are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
You're not following. You see, so far, as taxpayers, we have spent at least $70,000 on 3 years of your education. And this is the feedback that I'm getting from you.
I appreciate that you've done that for me. You know, helping me better my education, better myself as a man. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we're here to talk about, though.
We are. We're here to talk about whether or not you owe her rent.
I don't.
But we paid you for the rent.
Like I said, how you know what I do? Hey, I could have been going to the hotel every night, every other night. You know what I'm saying? I was just chilling with her, going to the crib and handling my business and getting gone. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you never know.
Moron.
Real talk.
God, $70,000 right down the sewer. All right. Now, he moved out in January. He paid you no rent. Is that right?
Right.
Did she pay any rent? Answer that. Did she pay any rent?
Just a second. Oh, great question.
Yeah.
Mr. Brooks, you know, I am an ecumenical abuser, which means men, women. It doesn't make any difference to me. Did you pay the rent from September until January?
When we moved in September, I paid the rent in September.
How much for September?
She didn't even pay the whole rent. It was like $300. That's it.
Mr. Brooks, now you have to be quiet.
Okay.
You asked me to explore a subject. Did I explore it reasonably with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Now I'm going to explore it with Miss Reed because I want to see if she has a legitimate claim. Now, you understand, you don't want to answer that is inaccurate, Ms. Reed.
I understand.
You paid September's rent. Did you pay October's rent?
No.
Did you pay November's rent?
No, and I was ready.
You didn't pay October and November. Did you pay December's rent?
No.
Did you pay January's rent?
No.
Your case is dismissed. That's
no,
all.
ma'am, it's not dismissed because...
No, it is.
No,
oh, listen to me carefully. It is dismissed.
They're coming after me.
All these are excuses. Judy, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
You only get done to you what you're allowed to get done to you.
We broke up because he cheated on me numerous times.
So if you feel like you got taken advantage of...
Absolutely. He said that on TV.
You did because you allowed yourself to get taken advantage of.
Meaning that he takes advantage of women because he's him.
I ain't no player. I'm a gentleman.
Jewelry on consignment.
Correct.
She was looking for top dollar.
I brought in a wedding set and then over 1 carat stud diamond earrings.
But did a slow economy,
According to you, it got stolen out of your car.
Correct.
lead to a desperate act?
I wasn't even sure if the jewelry had even been stolen. I wasn't sure if I was being scammed.
What was her jewelry doing in your car?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
Linda Burton is suing store owner Cynthia Leary for the return or value of jewelry she allowed her to sell on consignment.
Order. All rise.
Now it's case number 564 on the calendar in the matter of Burton versus Leary.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Miss Burton, this is your complaint, if I understand it. You left some jewelry with Miss Leary on consignment to sell. The jewelry was allegedly stolen. You want the value of the jewelry. That's
Correct.
what your lawsuit's about. Miss Leary, where was your place of business?
I'm in the Oceanside area.
Are you still in business?
Yes, I am.
And you have a lease on a store there?
Correct.
How long have you had the lease on the store there?
Probably about 4 years.
And what kind of store is it?
Jewelry and antiques.
Who do you have a lease with?
Todd.
He owns the building?
Correct.
How much rent do you pay?
About $1,000.
I don't know what that means. About $1,000.
$995 a month.
And how long have you been paying?
Correct.
You take jewelry on consignment, correct?
Correct.
And when you sell it, whatever the difference is between what you give to the person who brought in the jewelry and what you got for the jewelry is your profit?
Correct.
So I assume since you pay rent every month, you have a profit in the business.
Correct.
Now, who is your insurance carrier? Don't go for it. I mean, who is your insurance carrier?
I'm not insured at the moment. It's very difficult. Insurance is a cyclical thing, and sometimes when the economy is bad and losses are high, insurance companies are not willing to take small businesses. So it's very difficult to get insurance.
When was the last time you had insurance?
Probably about 3 years ago. It's not what you told me.
What happens if somebody slips and falls in your store?
My liability insurance covers it.
So you have insurance, because otherwise Todd wouldn't rent you his business, right?
Right.
So who do you have your insurance with?
At the moment, I do not have insurance.
Well, is that in violation of your lease?
Yes.
When did you allegedly, Miss Burton?
November of 2009.
What did you bring in?
I brought in a wedding set that included an engagement ring, a band, and a men's band as well, and then over 1 carat stud diamond earrings, all by the brand Corey.
Did you have appraisals on all of that?
At one point, yes, I did have appraisals on everything, but what I still have with me today is an appraisal of the diamond in the engagement ring.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. There's a picture of the wedding set as well. And I have comparable items.
Don't give me comparable items. This is...
In 2006, my house was burglarized, and I lost a lot of very important documents. This is what I was able to retrieve.
It makes no difference to me. Now, You brought the jewelry in there in November 2009. I would like to see the receipt that she gave you in November 2009.
At the very top, it states the
I can read.
Okay.
Are you a storefront, Miss?
It's a small store.
Okay. I want you to take a look at this, please. Now, I don't know what that is, except that it looks as if you either valued or put down a price for the wedding set of $4,000. What does that mean, Miss Leary?
That I was going to try to sell that for $4,000.
That was the minimum.
Just a second. That's what that means.
Correct.
Okay. Now, she has an appraisal replacement value from Robbins Brothers.
That's just the diamond.
Just a second. Let me tell you something. I buy a lot of jewelry. I know what appraisals are like. How much did you pay for the wedding set?
I have receipts from back then. The total for just
I'd like to take a look at them.
Okay. This is the receipt for, you're seeing the appraisal for just the diamond.
Just a second.
Okay.
Just let me see.
Okay.
Okay.
May I explain that? Because that is just does not include the diamond in that. Can you show her this too? Because it shows.
That's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
This will make a little more sense if you look at this as well. It shows the diamond, the price for the diamond, the band, and the setting.
Let me understand this. You paid, allegedly, $5,000 for this wedding set.
More than that. And that's just the engagement ring. That doesn't include the eternity band or the men's band as well.
Does the men's band have any stones in it?
No.
Okay.
I have they're still selling it on the website.
Listen to me. You paid $5,000 for the engagement ring, and you thought you could sell it for $4,000. I just want to understand that.
Judge Judy, it was my understanding that she had paid quite a bit for the pieces, and I felt that she had overpaid for them, and I was trying to do as best I could.
Or is that a promise that you made to her, you know, to get her to give you the jewelry, and then if you can only get $2,000 for it, you call and say, I can only get $2,000 for it, do you want it or not?
That's correct.
Correct. I understand how they overvalue it. You come back, you say, this is all I can get for it, do you want it or not? Now, what happened with the jewelry was that according to you, it got stolen out of your car.
All my jewelry that day got stolen out of my car, correct, yes.
What was her jewelry doing in your car?
I had just done a show, and I had the jewelry packed up, getting ready to put it back into the vault in Oceanside.
When it was all packed up, where was it?
It was in my car, locked.
Where in the car?
In the front seat of the car.
In what?
You know, in a bag, in a jewelry bag, in a jeweler's bag.
What does a jeweler's bag look like?
I would say it's kind of a black zippered case, 2x3 type of thing.
And it was on the driver's side or the passenger side?
It was on the passenger side.
And where were you?
I was paying for my security's gas and my gas. We were in separate cars in the gas station.
So your security was behind you?
Correct.
Not being watchful? Because somebody had to come up to the car, right? If they stole it out of the car.
Right.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This is your security? She licensed to carry a firearm?
No.
Then she's your buddy. Security carries a weapon. What is she going to do? Say, I don't touch that.
And later today.
What are you on, you crazy? You two people appear to be a Disneyland ride.
Linda Burton claims store owner Cynthia Leary owes for jewelry she allowed her to sell on consignment. Cynthia says the items were stolen from her during a robbery at a gas station.
Now, somebody had to know that black bag, just a second, somebody had to know that black bag with the zippered case was a jeweler's bag. Somebody had to be smart enough to know that, right?
Correct.
And you selected the security person. Not her.
Right.
Okay. I'd like to see the police report, and I'd like to see your police report.
By the way, she didn't want to give me a copy of the police report. I had to go to Long Beach Police Department to get a copy of it myself. I wasn't even sure if the jewelry had even been stolen. Wasn't sure if I was being scammed or what. She doesn't list me in the report.
Did you fill out the loss report sheet?
Yes, I did.
You have a copy of it?
Not with me.
Well, the police gave you a loss report sheet.
Correct.
And you were instructed how to fill it out.
Yes, I filled it out. It's about 10 pages.
And they have it at the police department, is that right?
Correct.
So that's easy for you to get. And for my clerk to get. You know what I'm saying to you? It's
yes,
accessible.
it can be. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely accessible.
Yes, it is.
Well, when did you file your lawsuit?
Okay, that was last month, February.
But you've known about this case for about a year, correct? So why wouldn't you get a copy of the loss report form?
I have a copy. I didn't bring it.
Where is it?
At my store.
Who's at your store?
No one today.
Mm-hmm. Do you list the plaintiff's jewelry as having been stolen?
Yes.
All of her items?
All but one.
Which one?
The Eternity Band.
And why didn't you list that?
Because that one was sold.
Sold?
Oh.
When was it sold?
Prior to the show.
And when did you transmit to the plaintiff the money for the Eternity Band?
I have not as yet.
Why not? That happened a year ago.
Because of the major loss of in May.
Who cares? You sold her property, and you didn't give her the money for it. I have a feeling from looking at her face, it's the first she's heard that you sold any of her property. Why is that? Why is that?
I thought that
you told her that?
That the one piece had sold.
Well, telling her that her jewelry is sold and giving her the money are two different things. A year later, how much do you say you sold it for?
$500.
Well, why didn't you turn over the money to her? I mean, is there no reason?
Just with the loss, I have been unable to.
That's not a reason. You pay your rent. You're still in business.
It's been very difficult.
You sold her property. It's like stealing. If you sold her property, if you listed it, see, you have to ask questions before you get an answer. It's, you sound sympathetic, but you're really not sympathetic. Because who is Dana?
That's me.
That's you. This is your security?
Mm-hmm.
She carry a weapon? She licensed to carry a firearm?
No.
Then she's your buddy, who you went to the flea market with?
No.
Because that's where you took her stuff, to a flea market.
No.
And you rented a booth in a flea market.
No.
Don't say anything. Security carries a weapon. You're walking around with $100,000 worth of jewelry. What is she going to do? Say, I don't touch that. When you hire security, you don't go with your buddy Dana. So that's not security. That's a possibility. That's why if you were going to hire a security, you would hire security who wouldn't be pumping gas, not looking at what was going on while you were going inside to pay for the gas, because that's what it says in the paper. So she's not much of a security with or without a gun.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
he's like talking, wants all the attention, but I'm doing something on the phone. He grabs it out of my hand and throws it out the window, and now the attention, he's got it all.
Linda Burton claims store owner Cynthia Leary owes for jewelry she allowed her to sell on consignment. Cynthia says the items were stolen from her during a robbery at a gas station.
Now, so you have that look of an innocent victim, but you actually stole her money a year ago. You sold her property over a year ago, and you didn't pay her for it. And we're not talking about what got stolen of her property, allegedly, because I'm not even sure her property got stolen. But you say you listed most of her property in the stolen property that you furnished to the police. I'm not even so sure that's true.
It is true.
Well, it's true you stole her money. That I do know. You sold her property, you didn't pay her, and you stole her money, 100. And if you would steal 500, you'd steal 5,000. If you'd steal 50 cents, you'd steal 5,000.
It's not
if you would steal 500, you would scam out of 5,000. And I'm not so sure how many other people's jewelry was in this assortment of $100,000 that you allegedly lost that day while your security was pumping gas and you weren't in the car. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She never listed me in that loss.
I was just a few feet away from it.
So I don't know if my jewelry was in there or not.
When they took a pickaxe and broke my glass.
Whether it was stolen or not, I never got
broad daylight
the jewelry back, and I got 1 cent of payment that she agreed to pay me.
That we tried to cover it under the homeowners.
I couldn't believe that she asked me to put it on my homeowner, use my homeowners.
That the insurance had lapsed.
It's not that my homeowners had ever lapsed.
I just felt that
I would have never have declared it on my homeowners.
With that loss, that it should have been covered under her insurance.
Because that would have been fraudulent. It wasn't in my home. It wasn't in my possession.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of McKillop versus Sridharan. Step forward, please.
23-year-old Ashley McKillop is Sridharan for throwing her cell phone out of a car window.
It is your claim that the defendant, who was a friend of yours, broke your cell phone and then caused some negative things to be published about you on the internet, and you want to be compensated for both. The defendant says that you broke your own cell phone and that some of his friends must have published this bad stuff about you on the internet. Okay. You know him how?
Through an ex-friend of his, my friend. I'd rather not say his name, but should I?
No.
Okay. Anyways, so we met in October through a mutual friend who is no longer his friend.
Could we pick up the pace a little bit?
So pretty much, long story short, like, I'm living in my apartment. We're hanging out, we're friends. He needs a place to stay. I have one room, and I'm like, hey, Abish, I have a room. You need a room? Stay at the room. And so he does. We're having roommate situations, and he and I go to Empire Grill. We have a few drinks. I'm driving. We sit in the parking lot on the curb, wants all the attention. But you know what? I don't give him 110% all the time. I'm doing something on the phone. He grabs it out of my hand and throws it out the window, hard, smash, if you will. And I'm like, you're gonna pay for that? He's like, ha, 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 whatever. Now the attention, he's got it all. So,
And on what date did this happen?
This happened on the 17th of February.
Now I'd like you to tell me what happened with her telephone.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Go ahead.
This is what exactly happened.
Don't look over there.
Huh? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
Stare at me like she was.
Okay.
Those big eyes.
Okay, so we went on a date. We went to this bar to drink, and she got really drunk. And then we were sitting on her car, and then she kept on receiving like 10 texts at like 1 minute. So I just looked at her phone, and I'm like, there was some really nasty, dirty message in that. So I'm like, this is what happens when you take random people's number at a bar. And this made her really upset and frustrated.
That sounded like a Disneyland ride.
Really?
What are you on, you crazy?
You two people appear to be a Disneyland ride.
Well, his story.
Listen to me, Miss McKillop.
That was a ride we all just went on.
Miss McKillop, this is what we're going to do.
Yes.
I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You can go back to small claims court and deal with your problem.
For real?
Because I don't want to deal with you. Thank you. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I was with her for like 6 months. I was in a physical relationship.
No, friendship only.
It started with a friendship.
I invite him to a place that I planned on staying at.
Then we moved on to it went into physical.
And he's like, oh, see ya, bye, taking over.
Then emotions got attached.
Mommy's little boy, like, yeah, great job.
But I don't know what's up with her.
But in all honesty, I've had harder slaps in the face.
She's mad. I don't know.
The same thing I've been doing since I've moved out.
So I don't know what's going to happen with her.
And that is bon voyage.
She told me that it wasn't her money anyway, and she was willing to give it to me.
What money was it?
It was a school loan that she had previously received.
What does a loan mean? I want you to think. I want you to try to get it through the poof back here. It was money that she eventually would have to pay back.
Right, and she was...
Just before you answer, let all the information get through the poof.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. The people are real. The cases are real. The rulings are final. This is Judge Judy.
20-year-old Brittany Skaggs is suing her former friend, 22-year-old Amanda Weaver, for an unpaid loan to buy school books.
Order. All rise. Yes, case number 563 on the calendar in the matter of Skaggs versus Weaver.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, please.
Miss Skaggs, you and Miss Weaver were friends, and it is your claim that she didn't have money to buy school books and supplies. You're in college. You bought them for her with the understanding that she was going to pay you back. She has not.
Yes, ma'am.
So?
Well, we were going to school to the bookstore to buy her books for her semester. And I recently informed her that I was only working less than part-time. Clear to her when
Don't tell me clear. I don't want you to say clear. You just tell me what you said to her and what she said to you.
She said she would buy my books as a gift.
That's what she said to you. That doesn't sound right. That's not the way people talk.
She agreed to
First of all, there would be a couple of likes in there. I'd like buy your books. I like. There would be at least 3 or 4 likes
if she were to buy my books, because it would have been nice to have them on the first week of school. And she agreed to it with knowing that she wasn't
Don't tell me knowing.
She told me that it wasn't her money anyway, and she was willing to give it to me.
Whose money was it?
It was a school loan that she had previously received.
It was a school loan?
Right.
What does a loan mean?
A loan for her school money.
A loan means, I want you to think. I want you to try to get it through the poof back here. What does a loan mean?
It was a loan for her to buy her school books, for her supplies.
The word loan, give me the definition of the word loan.
Something you pay back. And she knew she had to pay that back.
Right. So it's not that it wasn't her money. It was money that she eventually would have to pay back, right?
Right, and she was...
Now, if she has loans, that would of necessity suggest to me that she doesn't have a lot of
money.
So if she doesn't have a lot of
money,
why would she use her money to buy you your supplies without the expectation of being paid back? Before you answer, let all the information get through the poof.
She didn't bother, she didn't think twice about it. She just offered.
I just want you to think about what I just said. I want you to think about it.
She knew she didn't have the money.
Don't tell me the word knew. You can't tell me what she knows. That calls for what we call in legalese the operation of somebody else's mind. It's inadmissible. I'm asking you, why would somebody like you, who doesn't have enough money to buy books, who is this?
This is my witness.
Who is it?
My best friend.
Your friend. What does she do?
She was a witness to all of them.
What does she do?
She's a student.
Stand over there. Your last name is?
Moore.
Do you have student loans?
No.
You don't have student loans because you have enough?
Money.
You pay your own tuition?
Yeah.
What does yeah mean?
Yes, I do. My parents actually pay it.
Well, you don't pay it. Your parents pay it.
Yeah.
And you have no student loans, no grants. Is that correct?
Correct.
What's tuition?
How much is it?
I'm asking you, how much is it?
$3,600.
Did she just tell you that?
I don't know, honestly.
No, did she just tell you that?
Yes.
Is that because she knows how much tuition? Stop bouncing. She knows how much the tuition is because she probably has loans. You don't have to know it. Mommy and Daddy write you a check. Now you can sit down. Can I see the receipt for the books that you purchased for her? You want to just tell me, Miss Skaggs, just so it makes my life easier, the conversation that you had with her about her school books?
Yes, we drove to Ivy Tech, and she asked me if I could pay for her school books for her. And I said yes, because I do have my financial aid money. And I said yes. I said, but I will need you to pay me back. And she agreed, and she said, I will pay you back. I said,
Did you say when?
I did not.
I said in a reasonable time, and she said that she would pay me back. And I kept asking her multiple times for money.
And what did she say?
I asked her a few times, and it was small amounts, like $100. I'm broke. I only have like $100 to my name. Well, because she has a gambling problem, she lost it all in the casino.
Listen to me. Outside. No. Out. Go out. Go out. You're done. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $408.75. Thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you. Pardon the excuse. You may step out.
Everything that came out of the plaintiff's mouth was a total lie.
She's just fake. Nothing about her is real.
She was a best friend at the time, and obviously we know where that gets you.
The friendship? There was no friendship. Let me scrape it off the bottom of my shoe real fast.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Kelly versus Matthews. Step forward.
Stephanie Kelly is suing her co-worker, Terry Matthews, for the unpaid balance on a treadmill she sold to her.
Miss Kelly, it is your claim that the defendant owes you the balance of a treadmill that you sold to her. The defendant says she didn't want the treadmill in the beginning, and aside from that, it stopped working. When did you purchase the treadmill?
I purchased it from my apartment manager in April of 2010.
So you purchased it used?
Correct.
And how much do you claim you paid your apartment manager for this used treadmill?
$400.
How long did you have it?
Since April to September 18th when I sold it to Miss Matthews.
Now, I assume if you purchased the treadmill in April that you wanted to use it. Why didn't you? A few months is different from a few weeks. You're old enough to know the difference. Did you use it for a few months or a few weeks?
I'll say a few weeks.
No, don't tell me what you'll say. How often did you use it?
A few weeks.
Few weeks. Mm-hmm. And then what happened?
The weather started getting good. Summer's coming up, so I was walking outside.
Well, the weather starts to get good, Miss Kelly, every summer. How old are you?
Middle age. Enough
years to know that summer follows spring every year. It's not a surprise. You know that April is right before May. So when you bought the treadmill in April, you knew that the weather was going to get better and that you could walk outside. So why don't you give me an answer that I can believe?
I used it for a few weeks, and then I had sold it to Miss Matthews. I had a tune-up on it.
I didn't understand. Just a minute. I don't understand why. Did you stop using it because it was having difficulty working?
No, I had a tune-up on it after I bought it.
You had a tune-up? Mm-hmm. You have the receipt for the tune-up?
I do.
I'd like to see it.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You shouldn't have taken it.
You're correct.
In front of your door.
She arranged the delivery. I had nothing to do with any of that.
Oh, listen to me. You're a big girl.
That's correct.
You don't want it, you don't get it.
And later today,
he can't, by virtue of this letter, keep you out of Judge Judy Scheindlin Galaxy Storage.
Stephanie Kelly says co-worker Terry Matthews owes for a treadmill she sold to her. Terry claims Stephanie coerced her into buying it.
Now, common sense would dictate to me that if you bought a treadmill for $400 and you were paying an additional $117, or over 25% of the purchase price, you weren't doing that because the treadmill was running right. Is that correct?
No, that's not correct.
Well, explain that to me. As soon as you bought the treadmill, you spent another 25% on the treadmill for a service call.
Correct. I just wanted to make sure that the motor was good, the belt was walking right, the incline, everything was working on it good.
Well, didn't you try it? Didn't you know that it was working? I have a treadmill. I use a treadmill every day.
I did.
So I know when it's working or when it's not working or when it's skipping or when it needs oil. If you have it, it's working, it works. If it doesn't work, you get it serviced. Something odd about that, Miss Kelly. Okay. Where is the treadmill now?
In my garage.
How long has it been in your garage?
Since I received it in September.
Why is it in your garage?
It does not work. I did bring an estimate from a technician that came out and looked at it. It's got several things wrong with it.
Can I see it, please?
You sure can. It is split up with the diagnosis on one.
This is dated April 9th, 2011.
That is correct.
I don't want to see this. Would you return this to her? You purchased it in September.
That is correct. And I did not use it until December.
I don't care.
Okay.
You had it. If you said to me, as soon as she gave it to me, it went out, maybe we would talk. But you didn't have somebody look at it until last week. That is not reasonable evidence that when she sold it to you a non-functioning machine. So you have to pay her the balance. How much did you sell her the machine for?
$300.
How much did she pay you?
$67.
Why such an odd amount, Miss Matthews?
When I agreed to this treadmill, she called me on the phone and I told her I am not working. I cannot afford to pay any payments on it. The doctor had taken me off work.
So then you shouldn't have taken it.
I completely agree. I told her she should sell it to someone else.
You shouldn't have taken it.
You're correct.
Come in front of your door. I said, I'm not, don't bring it in my
arranged the delivery.
house.
I had nothing to do with any of that.
Oh, listen to me. You're a big girl.
That's correct.
Yeah. You don't want it, you don't get it. You owe $233. That's all. Thank you.
Always are excused. You may step out.
She could just see through everything, through a lie, through anything.
It's been very embarrassing. She did have me served it.
It's at best, and that's all.
It's been really unpleasant.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Johnson versus Love, step forward.
Storage unit buyer Patrick Johnson is suing auctioneer Dwayne Love for banning him from his auctions. Dwayne claims Patrick threatened him.
Let me, Mr. Johnson, see if I can put together what your claim is. You make a living buying storage facilities at auction.
Correct.
And hoping that you get in that facility, because nobody knows what's in there until it's sold, that you get something that's valuable. Is that right?
That's correct.
And then you sell it again. Mr. Love is an auctioneer.
Correct.
Are you self-employed, sir?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
So you are employed by various storage facilities around town, but they pay you per day?
On a commission basis, yes, Your Honor.
And you have your own company?
Yes, ma'am.
So, this is the story, Mr. Johnson. Pay careful attention. You bought a storage facility some time ago. You believed that Mr. Love and someone else had taken property after you purchased the storage facility, a gun or something that was valuable, and they really conned you. Then Mr. Love says that you became threatening to him.
Correct.
So, according to you, Mr. Love sent you a letter?
Yes, ma'am.
No, sent you a letter. Do you have a copy of the letter?
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Very good. There's the copy there, Your Honor, of the certificate.
Just a second.
Okay.
Just a second. So you sent him a letter that said, it's become quite clear that you are not happy, Mr. Johnson, with the way I conduct the storage unit auctions. Given that fact, I have decided, effective with your receipt of this letter, that you are no longer welcome to attend or be on the property of any future auctions being conducted by Evergreen Auction Service, which is, I assume, the name of your auction company.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
TikTok. There's only a matter of time before you pick the wrong person. Only a matter of time.
Storage unit buyer Patrick Johnson is suing auctioneer Dwayne Love for banning him from his auctions. Dwayne claims Patrick threatened him.
Mr. Johnson, you, sir, are suing him because 20% of the auctions in your area.
Correct.
And therefore, he is depriving you of income.
Correct.
Ah, okay. Mr. Love, I'm going to go to you.
Okay.
Let's say I own Judge Judy Scheindlin Galaxy Storage Facility.
Sounds good.
And I hire Evergreen, Mr. Love, to come in and conduct an auction on my premises.
Okay.
Because I have 6 storage facilities that have not paid their monthly bill, and I've padlocked them or done whatever I do. And you're going to come in and conduct that auction.
Okay.
You're hired just to come in for the day and say how much.
Correct.
Right? So you don't have, Mr. Love, the authority to ban Mr. Johnson from any premises that you don't own. What makes you believe that you have the right to tell anybody that they can't come on to the property of Judge Judy Scheindlin Galaxy Auction?
What I did that from, Your Honor, was the threatening voicemail that was left.
No.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
I believe, sir, that you weren't happy, whether it's because he sued you or whether he sent you a threatening voicemail, whatever it was. My question is a much more specific one, sir.
Okay.
My question to you is, I don't understand where you believe you have the right to ban him from property that's not yours. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, you have the right to go into criminal court and say, I've received threats from Mr. Johnson. I want a protective order. And that protective order, listen to me very carefully, Mr. Love, that protective order, if it's established that he did in fact threaten you, can read, Mr. Johnson is to stay 500 yards or 1,000 yards away from wherever I am, which effectively does the same thing.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Johnson?
Correct, but I've never threatened him.
I don't care whether you've threatened him or not. I'm not deciding that. What I'm saying to you is he can't, by virtue of this letter, keep you out of Judge Judy Scheindlin Galaxy Storage Facility.
Correct, and that's why I'm suing him.
You can't sue him. You have no cause of action against him. This is invalid. You could go to the storage facility, and the only way you can't go to the storage facility where he is conducting auctions is if he has a protective order against you.
Okay.
Now you got it?
I do not.
Great. So, Mr. Love, what I'm going to suggest to you is you have threatening emails from him or threatening voicemails from him?
Voicemail.
One or more than one?
One, and I've got it here with me today.
I'd like to hear it. Maybe I can give you an advisory opinion, maybe not.
Saved message. Touche.
There it is.
Gabby. TikTok. There's only a matter of time before you pick the wrong person. You a lot of people, so only a matter of time. Karma, maybe that's why you got 8.
To replay this message.
Okay. Now, Mr. Johnson, that's a very nasty message.
No threat, though.
Just a second. I'm not sure how another judge would view that, sir. Just letting you know.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to JudgeJudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Okay. Mr. Love, if you go into court to get a protective order, Mr. Johnson is going to have to hire a lawyer. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Lawyers cost money. Now, he may do that and may not. In any event, what it does is it flips around the geography of the litigants. You'd be standing there, and he'd be standing there. You cannot, however, send him a letter banishing him from other people's property.
Okay.
Go to court, seek a protective order. Now, do we understand each other, Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Good. So you have no cause of action. You can go to an auction, absent a protective order, where Mr. Love is conducting his business unless the proprietor of the property tells you that you are not welcome on that private property. Now, if Mr. Love were to come to me, and this is just supposition, and say to me, I have this voicemail, and I viewed it as threatening, and there's a guy that comes to auctions, so I'd be more than happy to conduct this auction for you, but you have to advise Mr. Johnson that he cannot come on the premises. Do you understand? He can't do that, but there are places that might want to be cooperative with him. So I suggest that you put your mouth in check. We understand each other, Mr. Johnson? Goodbye. You have no case. That's it.
You done?
I'm done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.